welcome to episode 203 of Zapped to the Past. I'm Adrian Mills. I'm joined as always by Mr. Graham Raddings. If you haven't listened before, this is a podcast where we discuss games that were released for the Commodore 64. We're using the magazine Zapped 64 as a monthly guide for the games to focus on, but we are in no way affiliated with Zapped 64 itself. This week, we start our look at February 1992 and the first batch of games reviewed in issue 81 of Zapped 64, along with what was also going on in the UK singles chart that month. Graham, we seem to be overrun with cute characters this week, but is it all surface shine, or are there hidden depths to uncover?
At last, we've managed to flush January 1992 down the toilet, and we can now welcome the fresh wind of February. It's still winter, of course, but this month of Valentine's means romance and, of course, more C64 games. So, in a month which also saw the Ulysses spacecraft pass Jupiter on its gravitational slingshot to the sun, we discover that those cute dancing fuzzies are once again in dire straits, as their once peaceful island habitat falls prey to more of those big colourful demons and their evil machinations in the visually incredible Creatures 2 Torture Trouble. And after that, we nip off to Australia and to Erinsborough to see if next door is really only a footstep away on Ramsay Street in the 8-bit game, the TV soap opera Neighbours. I remember watching quite a lot of Neighbours in the late 80s. That's the TV show, of course. I've never knowingly spied on anyone living next door to me. Anyway, compared to the misery of Coronation Street or EastEnders, it was a breath of fresh Aussie air at the time, and who would have thought all these shows would still be going? Wowzers. So while we wonder how many Aussie soap stars have actually released pop songs in the UK over the years, we get poked in the yolk and shoved in the sea as we desperately aim to float up and away to freedom in the watery egg-based shenanigans of Bubble Dizzy, before finally taking to the side-scrolling streets again, looking to deliver packages, earn some pennies, and figure out what on earth we should be doing in the intriguing Rolling Ronny. I remember podcast friend Gary getting quite emotional when Daphne Clark was killed in Neighbours. Those scenes of Des crying and honking and Gary doing likewise will live long in my memory. Ah, the tragedy of it all. It's been very cutesy, hasn't it?
It has.
Hasn't it? Cute, I'd say.
Damn the cute.
Damn the cute. Yeah, it has been a bit of a cute meat, isn't it? A meat cute, I believe people call them as well. I don't. Yeah. I've never called it that, and I never will. But there has been a few cutesy characters. I don't know. Yeah, there is. It's just a collection of small sprites, really, isn't it? But there's quite a lot of them.
It is. Oh, yeah, there's 3 cute ones, and then there's one that's got Lenny, which made me laugh. You might know her from a different name. I don't know why she's called Lenny in the game. I suppose she was cute at the time, wasn't she? Well, she still is cute, I guess. So there's cuteness across all these games.
Yeah, there is. There's a type. There's a bit of a type to the games, isn't there? There's a bit of a. I think there's clearly been an influence. A game that came out with small jumping characters somewhere along the line, running along screens and things. And I don't know, but anyway, there's a few things in there that are pretty good.
Yeah. So we're starting February. This is it's three episodes this month, just to get all the games in. And I think that's it for then. That's it. I think everything else beyond this is 2 weeks. Literally down to just 2 week episodes, and that'll be it for the rest of this run, basically, until the end.
Till the end. It's all 2 meets till the end.
I mean, one of them stretching it over two episodes as well, because there's only 4 games.
Oh my God, that magazine got released with that. Our podcast. Okay, we can manage that, but can you release a magazine with 4 games in it? I suppose they did.
I don't know. There were other games reviewed, budget games that we'd already looked at, but only 4 new ones.
That's just crazy, isn't it?
I know. It's not the last episode. That's not the last issue, though.
No. It just seems crazy, though.
But it is on the way to the end. So, we've got a few episodes left, about 20 or so, but there's Christmas in between all that and this thing. So I think we're padded up until about next April at the moment. So,
yeah, absolutely. Cool.
We'll keep you going. I'm
coming to you, by the way, today live with a new, well, not a new keyboard. I needed to replace the keycaps on my current keyboard. I'm lucky enough to own a Keychron Q6, which is an amazing keyboard. Also really heavy. It's the heaviest keyboard I've ever owned. If you drop it on your foot, you're going to need new feet. Really heavy. But I needed, I'd actually used the keyboard that much, I'd worn the letters off some of the keys. Which is, I thought I hadn't done that since I had a Commodore 64, strangely enough, which is why I mentioned it. Anyway, so I had to buy a whole new set of keycaps and then also a special tool to remove the previous keycaps. But I didn't even know this was a big thing. And all I can say is it's great. I've got this new keyboard. It's got these new coloured keys and all sorts of fancy stuff in it. However, never do that before you do to deliver a meeting. And also, just for the record as well, when you get the box of keycaps, never drop them. Never drop them, ever. Don't do that.
Did it end up looking like Scrabble or something?
Well, when they're in the box, they're all in the right order. When they're not, it's a little bit more of a riddle-me-ree about which ones. Because some when they send you the keycaps, sometimes they send you multiple versions of the same one. So anyway, after I've done all this, replaced them all, it's all working fine. And then I discovered, weirdly, I was just showing Adrian on the camera, if you can see it, I'd actually left a 2. So I'd found a rogue 2. So that was weird. So I actually found and sat on a number 2. And I did actually, I thought that's odd. It was ironic, really, that it was that number. It could have been any number out of the 9.
It could have been any number.
Well, the 10, I suppose, really. But anyway, so that was exciting thing number 1, wasn't it, this week? And well, not for you, but for me, it was quite interesting.
No. I'll tell you what was exciting for me. That was the activity going on our Ko-fi.
Oh, okay. Well, do tell me more.
Dominic K, one of our patrons, he donated something through Ko-fi as well. I mean, what a dude. What a dude. I know. Thank you very much, Tom. That was amazing. But yeah, because obviously you support us on Patreon and then you supported us on Ko-fi as well. It's like
some people are just too cool for school, aren't they?
I know. And this isn't a size thing, but Richard Goodall, I'm not going to say how much, but donated a sizable amount on Ko-fi as well.
Bless him.
Like, I see when that came in, that email, that was a proper oh. I was like, good Lord. And Richard Goodall, thank you very much. I mean, incredible.
Very generous.
Really, really, thank you very much. That will go to lots of beers and things over the Christmas period. No, I mean podcast servers and things like that.
Yeah, you've earned yourselves a shout out for that. That's what you've earned. But no, that is amazing support. Thank you.
So absolutely, thank you very much for that. And finally, Gavin Jamieson, who we actually had a meeting with the other day, but we'll keep it under hush. Although I've just said it, so I've said the let's.
It's too late now. Yeah, you've completely unhushed that.
Well, we had a meeting, just to meet up, just say hello.
That's the opposite of hush. He did.
Well, thank you anyway, Gavin.
Oh, Gavo. All right, Gavo. He doesn't like being called that, by the way. Never say that again. I'm sorry, because you unhushed it, I decided to reveal that.
Absolutely. So people will forget that. What I'm going to do is an audible, like one of those white lights in Men in Black. So everyone just forgets it right now. There you go. You've all forgotten what I just said. But thank you all. Thank you one and all. Gavin, Richard, and Dom. Amazing stuff. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, ace really stuff. Thank you. That. Thank you. You guys are rocking.
Indeed. But it's the start of a new month, Graham.
It is.
So we've got a cover to look at.
We do. Could it be a February though? January was January, wasn't it? It was horrible. I can't even think of a good one for that. It was just a stinker.
It was a proper January, wasn't it? Grey, dreary month.
We want February. Yeah. Come on. Oh, and then
well, maybe because there's 2 world exclusives on this front of this, and again, the cutesy has infiltrated the cover here. I'm not sure this is a great cover. What do you think, Graham?
I'm absolutely certain it's not a great cover. Look, Ollie Frey's an amazing artist. We've established this over many, many tests. This is not one of his greatest. I think the mouse thing he's drawn at the front, okay, a ski mouse thing, whatever that is.
It's for winter camp, isn't it?
Yeah, but the fisting angry potato man, I'm not sure where he was going with that.
I think that's Clyde, isn't it, from Creatures 2?
It is, kind of. And I guess it's after he's been, brutalised and that. There's some nice details, but I just don't think it's one of his greatest covers. I think he turned that round in a couple of minutes, I think, that one.
Yeah, I don't think
it's not a good one.
One of his best. No. So you got Zapped for the original best Commodore 64 action mag, Europress. Europress. Yeah, so we've got Creatures, Winter Camp, win a portable CD player, and groovy Blues Brothers soundtrack.
Okay.
Groovy.
Won't ever describe the Blues Brothers as groovy, but okay.
Well, maybe. We've also got a cover tape. Because there's not much to say about this cover. The actual art cover is there. It's like...
Oh, it's mostly white. I mean, normally there'd be shading on that mountainy, snowy stuff. But on this, it's just gone, bollocks, it's white. It's heavy snow.
It is. I like the fact that Zapped 64 is in front of the thing, although the black outline on it looks odd.
That's what I mean. It's exactly, to me, this does not look like... No, it's this. Everything's a bit... I mean, look at the fire that's coming out of his mouth.
Oh, that's rubbish. That looks like it's been stuck on. That has been stuck on afterwards and cut out and stuck on.
That's what I mean. That's what I don't understand. It's like I don't necessarily think that Ollie Frey drew all of that.
No, probably not. But there's a cover tape. Gribbly's Day Out. Good game.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, it's not bad.
A bit old though, isn't it? But I suppose most people probably have that by now, so it's a weird one to have.
Yeah.
Batalix.
Lamasoft game. Was it any good? But
I think we were just of the same opinion as always with Jeff Minter's stuff. Technically very good, but the instructions are in the mag, like take up a whole page in the magazine. So I read through them and I still was none the wiser.
Okay.
Okay. And there's an adventure game called Nithihel.
Nithihel. Is that?
Yeah. Nithihel. Second class return to Nithihel.
Tunes.
You need tunes, mate.
I'd like a first class ticket to Nathanhell, please. Tunes.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a text adventure, so I've got nothing to say about that.
No.
Literally nothing. So there you go. That's the cover. We've looked at it.
It is rubbish, actually. Come on, let's be fair. It's rubbish.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I'd say, why have they got the creatures 2? The 2 is on his leg and you can't see it. Then they've put a really weird...
I don't even notice that.
They've drop shadowed the blue writing, which makes it borderline unreadable when it's small. It's all gone wrong. It's a different... Why is the winter camp in blue anyway, but dark blue? Why isn't it in with a snowy effect, with snow on it? It's just, the details are all wrong. It's wrong. It's gone wrong. Just move on. Forget about it.
Let's move on.
It's a bit shit,
Okay. Yeah, we don't like that. It's not great. And I don't want to win a portable CD player.
No. Stick it up your ass.
You did have one,
didn't you?
I did. But it wasn't... I don't know, just lost in the mists of time.
Why did you encounter that at some point? Just encountered the mists of time when I was walking to work and there was this mist of. I threw my CD player to see what happened, and it turned out it just vanished into a vortex.
Gone, just gone. To be honest, I have no idea what happened to that. I couldn't even remember. Did it go to university? It might have gone to university with me. I think it was the only CD player I had at that time. I think when I bought a new CD player, that it just got...
In 200 years' time, it's going to come back from the bloody depths of space like Vija, and it's going to come back to haunt you, that thing. It's going to be intelligent, and it's going to absorb all your CDs.
Well, it was a Goodman's, so what would it be called? Goodman.
Where is Goodma? You have to merge with a bald creature from another world in order to
It'll just
amalgamate
be open, won't it, to talk. Where is Goodma? Where is Goodma?
Wouldn't take a lot of special effects to do that, would it? Keeping with the oeuvre of that film.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that it's just like opening its mouth. I have been on a long journey. Wow.
You've learned to speak. I have,
but I still skip when I play CDs. Of course you do. Of course you
do. Don't walk with me. I skip.
No. I said I had a shock absorber.
I lied.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, it was. I never walked it. It just sat next. It was just plugged into my stereo at the time. This was my
exactly. Thank God it had an aux out. The legend of the aux.
I'm not sure it did actually. I think it was just from the stereo speaker.
Oh, headphones, suck it out.
It's all I had at the time. It's all I had.
Actually, I suppose if you can say, damn, it's impedance, if you're going to do a really good nerdy microphone and speaker joke.
I don't like that.
Quiet there.
You are knocking my headphone socket out. I don't know why it's turned into a Dalek.
Good man. Did you meet the Daleks?
No. But I did go for a drink with Davros. He was legless after it.
Legless. Oh dear. Poor Davros.
Poor Davros and shit joke. Should we get to some games? I think we need to get to some games.
Bloody hell.
We really better add. Let's get to some games. And let's get to our first game this week. And Graham, that game is over to you. It's on the cover. It's Creatures 2.
Creatures
Tell us
Knee.
all about Creatures 2.
Creatures Knee. I like the idea of it being a Creatures Knee. So Creatures 2, well, obviously it's a bloody sequel, isn't it? I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? To Creatures, obviously, 1. Oh. Goodness me. So, well, this is a good thing, actually, because firstly, we'll talk about the good things and the bad things. So, published by Thalamus. Developer was Apex Computer Productions, otherwise known as John Rowland and Steve Rowland, the Rowlands. Rowlands,
we want to help them.
We want to help you, Rowland. But the good news is here that they're back. And now these guys have turned in some amazing stuff, haven't they? Retrograde, Creatures, Cyberdyne Warrior, to name but 3 of them. So we always like the games when they come along from these guys because they tend to have a little bit of chutzpah, a bit of poshness to them, don't they? There's a bit of production that goes into these.
There certainly is.
And this one is no exception to that, let me tell you that. So what's it all about? What's the point? So it says, and this is from the official Creatures 2 blurb, and this is Creatures 2 Clyde Radcliffe in Torture Trouble is the full name of this, so you know. And it says, life has been rather peaceful for the Fuzzy Wuzzy clan ever since Clive Radcliffe disposed of the island's resident demons who had kidnapped his best friends. Their torture devices were no match for the might of Clyde and his flame breath. Clyde had since settled down with Bonnie, a very attractive fuzzette, who fell for him at one of the many fuzzy raves. After several trips to the Cabbage Patch, they were proud parents of no less than 9 cute little fuzzies. Life was just perfect, or was it? Unbeknownst to them, the land they discovered a few years ago and named the hippest place in the known universe consisted of not 1, but 3 islands. The few surviving demons fled to these islands and began to construct bigger, better, and more ghastly torture chambers. They wanted revenge. The demons decided to strike during the Radcliffe's annual trip to the beach. And while Clyde and Bonnie were walking in the sand dunes, the sadistic demons mercilessly swiped their helpless kiddies. When Clyde returned, his children were gone. The only thing left on the beach was a tiny pair of luminous Bermuda shorts. On their way back to the village, they found Chaz lying on the ground, bleeding out. They found Chaz lying out on the ground, bleeding and out of breath. He told them about the demons, the new torture chambers.
Not quite as dark.
Not quite as dark. And that everyone in the village was gone. Gone! Chaz drew one last breath, closed his soft pink eyes, and died. Oh, maybe it did go a bit dark all of a sudden.
Oh, dear. He did bleed out.
A tear ran down Bonnie's face, and Clyde felt a lump in his throat. He knew what he had to do. But the gameplay then...
Swallow.
Swallow. It's a song, isn't it? The game is set across 3 islands, which make up the hippest place in the known universe. Each island, in turn, contains 6 separate stages, 2 torture screens, 2 interlude screens, a demon section, and finally, the island hopping section. So the torture screens then. Here, Clyde must rescue one of his captured kiddies using the available on-screen objects and devices. Certain creatures, when destroyed, will leave behind a magic potion, stolen from the witch's hut. When collected, this potion adds a particular weapon to Clyde's current selection. The interlude screens. For these sections, Clyde teams up with the fuzzy rescued from the previous torture screen, their aim being to bounce a designated amount of fuzzy wuzzies to safety. Careful, fuzzy bouncing can be used to collect bonus coins. A bonus life is awarded for every 5 collected. You're going to need them as well. You really are. Demon screens. What are they? Well, once Clyde has completed the first 4 stages of an island, he is nabbed by the demons and imprisoned. To escape, he must destroy his captors by bombarding them with bugs, which must be kicked under the Acme vacuum machines. All clear so far. And then, of course, there's island hopping. When Clyde has completed an island, he must take his rescue children to the next island. As Clyde is the only one equipped with scuba gear, he must carry his offspring across the water. However, Clyde's path may be blocked by smaller islands. The fuzzies must be deposited on the left side of the island and collected from the right. Again, there are bonus coins for him to collect. Note, if a fuzzy is left too long treading water, he will drown. Dark. And then there's hidden bonus rooms. Situated on certain torture screens are hidden bonus rooms. Clyde can only obtain access to these at certain points and at certain times within each torture screen. Once inside, Clyde must collect as many bonus creatures as he can in as little time as possible. To go to the next room, simply fall off the bottom of the screen. Note, only collect the nodding, smiling creatures. If any other creatures are touched, Clyde will automatically leave the bonus room. How about that?
Oh, dear. Okay.
Pretty incredible stuff, in it, all that, really. Quite a lot to think about.
Yep.
There's a lot to unpack with this game, actually, aside from the instructions. So I'm sort of going to go through that. And then there's a little bit of a sting in the tail of it all as well, which I'm going to come as well. So from the very start, I would say this game is so polished and well produced. It really is at the top of the C64 game look and feel capability, I think, looking at this. Everything is pitched correctly. The music here is great, really, really good, boppy, fun, and it fits perfectly for the kind of game it is. The visuals, I would say, are at the very top of the ladder, really brilliant throughout and styled with fun, panache, and colour. Lots of colour. The game absolutely looks and feels the part, in my view. Easily a contender for the best visuals on the C64 right now, as of this game coming out. It's incredible work from Steve Rowland and the other Rowland. The Rowlands, as I like to call them, Steve and John. The game is clearly an extension of the funny torture sequences from Creatures 1. It's no bad thing. They were what a lot of people remembered it for anyway. And there's a good mixture of sort of slight puzzles, shooting and fun to be had, as well as the notion of sort of single screenish puzzles and time-based levels to finish. That's what it's like. That's the game. And it's not a bad thing to focus on those bits from the previous one, actually. It's quite a nice idea to do that. Because the other part, there was some of the scrolling had issues, didn't it? I think you couldn't go uphill or something. There was some daft things about it, but anyway. The intro to the game's good as well. Funny. A nice riff on Terminator 2, which made me laugh out loud. And the whole vibe of that had me smiling from the very start. Really good, that. nice intro sequence. And graphically,
really
impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into the game is simple enough. A brilliant title screen. The sequence plays out super colourful and really loads of fun. It really is a lively game, this. It comes alive. It brings the whole thing. It gives you a good vibe. And when you want to start everything off, you just press 5 to start your journey through the stages and the worlds, etc. All straightforward and pretty quick to get going as well. I was playing a cartridge version of this, which was handy, an easy flash version. The disc version that I had didn't actually work, but no, there's an easy flash version. If you're going to go and play this, and I strongly suggest you do, then that would be the one to get. As soon as you see the interstitial sequences with the bouncing Clydes and the brilliant music, you know how this is all going to go down. It really is funny when they bounce on the screen. Admin stitches. It's really good.
Same here. Yeah,
it really is funny. Good. And I was kind of sat watching it, just like going, you know what? I've been waiting for something like this for ages. Just a game that is just totally brilliant fun. So anyway, you get past that when you do, and it's really colourful, like I said, and there's a lot moving around. It's just fun. And then it's the first stage or torture screen. The whole screen is the game with this, which, like I said, easily means that it's got the best visuals. I think I could happily say this is some of, if not the best visuals I've seen on the 64, really, at this point.
Big words.
They are genuinely brilliant. Beautifully rendered background details, really funny and well animated sprites with incredible use of the C64 color palette. You forget that you're only really looking at this machine's really generally in medium res. It's got 4 colors. So there's some clever shenanigans going on here. The aim of the course in this stage, which is named Pressed for Time, is to navigate the stage and figure out how to stop the machine from killing your children, your little child. This will involve avoiding enemy fire, jumping on a platform, setting off bombs, and switching between your weapon types as you do when you get to that part. Hit anything, and it's a life lost and back to your origin point of the stage. Do that 5 times, and it's game over. So you've got to be careful. Get through this stage, and you get an attractive bonus interlude, and then onto the first Funky Forest interlude stage. By the way, the controls for all this are pretty clear. So when it comes to sort of how you control it, they have slight variations for each of the different screens. So in the torture screens, it's joystick left and right, can make him walk, pushing up makes him jump. When fire is pressed, you'll fire your current weapon, but if you hold fire down, he'll do his flame breath. They're the same controls, I think, out of Creatures 1. I don't think that's any different, basically.
Yeah, I think they are, yeah.
And if you pull down and press fire, it brings up like a weapon tablet at the bottom of the screen, where as you go through and collect some of the other options, you get different types of weapon. Now, it's not different types of weapon as such. It's different ways that the weapon can be thrown. So you can either throw it directly left and it sort of wobbles across, or you can sort of pitch them down and sort of throw them with gravity attached, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it works for the torture screens. For the interlude screens, pushing left and right will move them left and right. And then you can also hold down fire in left and right, and that'll tilt the trampoline that you hold. I'll talk about that a bit more, but that's how you essentially got to try and bounce them across the screen. So that's how that controls. In the demon screens, it's left and right again for Clyde. Up and down will move the exhaust port up and down, where you've got to sort of kick the bugs that will get sucked into the machine and fire them at the big boss demon thing. And then in the island hopping one, up, down, and left and right makes Clyde swim up, down, left and right. And then you've got to try to collect the fuzzies, and they balance on his head, and then you have to sort of carry him across and do that. So, and if you press fire, then it'll makes them run to the other side of the island when they get to that side, because obviously you drop them on the left, you've got to go to the right and get them to come across. But that's the controls in the game. There's no less than that. And you can pause the screen if you want to pause it, which is quite funny when you do that, because the whole screen goes dark and you sort of like blinking in the dark, which would make me laugh as well. Nice little touches like that. So essentially that's how this game sort of controls out. Once you've gone through the first one, you get to the Funky Forest into the stage. As I said, it sees you trying to bounce your family members across the screen from point A to point B. It's like that old Bouncing Babies game. I can't remember the name of it though, the one with the hospital thing.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
But it's basically that. You've got to avoid the kind of bad things as you do that. There's a thing floating above you, which you've got to kind of avoid. It's tricky, actually, this. But again, it's visually brilliant and it's loads of fun to do. Everything about this is kind of tongue-in-cheek and funny. So the baddies hurl your family member off the trees to the right. You and a colleague are holding a trampoline. And then you tilt that as it drops off, you've got to bounce it across and you can tilt it. But if you want to, you can stop and bounce him straight upwards. And there's little letters you can collect for the bonuses, which as you collect more bonuses, you get the lives. Of course, you get the extra lives if you do that.
Which you'll need.
Which you will need in this. Dropping them is bad, I would say, in this. But you can also collect the bonus coins if you want. You need to save 5 members, get 5 people across from right to left in the time limit. That is not easy to do in this. But do that. And stage 3 or torture screen 2, which is called It's No Problem. And the stage that everyone remembers, it seems, for this because of the amazing snow effects in it. Even with an interview with one of the Rolands, then the guy that did the graphics, which was Steve, with an interview with Steve Rowlands. Somebody asks him, how on earth did you do that snow effect in those levels? Because it is genuinely really good. Anyway, so there's a nice snow effect. Everyone remembers that. But it follows the same notion, really. Prevent the torture from happening and prevent the child from getting killed and rescue them, solve the puzzle and escape the stage. If you do that, it's stage 4, which is the second interlude stage called Frozen Frolics, but it's principally the same idea as the previous one with the bouncing and the bouncing the people across. So there's more hazards and things in it and more skidding and icy things. It's really good. Stage 5 is different because it's the first demon screen titled The Blubber Family. Here a massive, and I mean massive, boss creature floats above you, and you must kick the green blobbies into the machine to fire it at the big boss. Do this enough times, and you're through to the next stage, which is again a bit different. You need to hop to the second island and to this. So this is obviously called island hopping, and here you must save the 3 fuzzies by carrying them across as I've described in order to get through to the next bit. It's all quite hard to do this, by the way. This is getting progressively harder and harder. Remember, you don't. There's no restarts here. There's no, if you die in level there is, but if you actually die outright, back to the beginning you go. And there's no sort of staged passwords or anything like that. So this is kind of a tricky old proposition, isn't it? Anyway, come back to all that. So the actual island hopping part is a side-scrolling thing, really, where you've got to, like I say, transport the fuzzies across to safety by balancing them on your head and taking them across the islands. There's obviously creatures aiming to stop you, so you've got to be careful here. And the graphics are incredible, I thought, with a real, like a SNES NES vibe to things. This looks and plays like a far more powerful console game at this point. It's rock hard, though. And you need to prepare yourself for that. Graphics, the graphics and sprites really are worth calling out again. This looks and controls really well. There's no bugs, there's no glitches. It runs full screen with a UI in the bottom border. That's some incredible coding chops going on here. Now, what this is also, but from what I've read, their average development time for their games was between 6 and 12 months, and it shows because this game has got a lot of passion in it, and the graphics have taken somebody some time to do, haven't they? Stage 7 comes along. It's a torture screen 3, which is acid antics, and from here the logic of the game follows the same pattern: torture screens, interludes, demon screens, island hopping, scuba, until you get to the sort of towards the end of the game. Make it through. And from stage 13, which is Torture Screen 5, Creepy Chaos, you're pushing towards the final batches of stages. The background graphics for this stage are absolutely brilliant. They really are. They do get loads better with really nice spooky sort of Halloween-y type vibes as well. It's so cool. And again, it's that shading and the pixel painting and the colours. It's just wow. It blew my mind at how good it really gets. Stage 14 is the interlude, Forest of Gatto, they call that. 15 is Balloonacy, which made me laugh based on all the balloonacy that we've had in recent games. Thank God it isn't a balloon level. Although there is a little bit of balloony in it. Stage 16, interlude. And then stage 17 is the Demon Screen 3, which is the Heinous family. And that is also the final boss. When you complete that, you get a really good end sequence to the game, a proper end sequence, which actually made me laugh out loud because it turns out, well, I won't spoil it for you, but there's a really good end sequence to it. It's really funny and it did make me laugh a lot. Remember that each torture screen has a grisly ending as well for the fuzzy in the trap if you don't actually rescue them, and they're all pretty grim and gory to say the least, but they are funny. So if you want to check them out, then our favourite long-suffering YouTuber, AL82 Retro has pretty much played, I think he must have played every game in the known universe anyway, but he certainly played this one to its full completion. So if you do want to watch the end sequence and also those torture deaths, you can go and do that on his YouTube channel. You'll find this game on there with a really nice high quality long play of it, which was really helpful to me as well, because I had no chance of getting to the end of this game. Never in a million years. No. Anyway, so what does it all wrap up and say? Well, I've got to say, this is a great game for the C64. It really is. And it's not a game I really played because by this point, I didn't have a C64, I had an Amiga. And it wasn't a game I'd played on the Amiga. The home of this game is the C64, and you can see that's where the passion is. Now, I don't care about the other versions. For me, this is the best version of this game. I don't doubt that, because you can kind of tell. It's a showcase of talent for code, audio, and brilliant visuals, this game, without a doubt. Genuinely, I felt a work of heart and passion. With a simple concept and enough stages to keep you entertained, even with a limited scope of premise. It is very difficult, though, which is probably my only real gripe with it. Everything is here for you to play, but it's not very forgiving. Can you get far in it with enough practice? I would imagine so, but will you? I don't know. With that limited set of lives and no code to start in further in the game or continues, I don't know. Expecting this to be done in a single pass, even with the bonus lives you can get, is a challenge. Even if you know of every trap and nuance, it would not be an easy proposition. But does that equate to value for money? I think it probably does a bit, actually. You're getting a good game. It's challenging and very difficult, but it's got an arcade sort of vibe to this as well. And I think if you were going to say it's leaning in anything, it's leaning in arcade territory in that kind of sentiment. The one screen play or the several short multi-screen play and the interstitials between the levels, which are really funny and very colourful and bright, like I say. And there's lots of them. I think it's lending itself to a console look and feel and an arcade console kind of vibe more than a classic 64. And it shows. So aside from that, that is my only issue with the difficulty. Everything else here is absolutely top of the pile in terms of production and presentation. It's basically flawless in that respect. Now, it got 97% in Zap, I believe.
Yeah.
And a gold medal. And I think that's well deserved, I have to say. I don't think there's any question of that. It's easily one of the best games visually on the Commodore 64, I think. Easily. And it's certainly a bright spark in the sea of shite we've had to experience so far in 1992. The brutal footnote here really is that, and I found this quite tragic and sad. Upon reading into this, there's a few interesting factoids about this. So firstly, there's an interview with Steve Rowland on Lemon. And in his interview, he's asked a question basically, which is, what are the bad things that happened essentially? It's a bit of a story around it, but the TLDR and the short version of this is that they didn't get paid for this game from Thalamus. So they earned no money from this.
Shocking.
Thalamus apparently went into administration owing them all the money that they should have been paid for this, and they never got it. And I think that's unforgivable. And now I know that Thalamus are around now. They've come back, and I guess that's a completely different setup and everything. And I don't suppose there's any reason why the Rolands are going to go, oh, give me my money back. But I think I can't imagine having spent a year of my time, even 6 months of my time to a year, building a game like this of such high quality with such amazing graphics and sound and all the production that they put into that and all the hard work that was clearly gone into that game, to get nothing from that other than pats on the back from the players over all this time. I think that's a testament to the incredible achievements that have done on the 64. But a real testament to the dedication of the Rolands, because they went on to make more games. So anyway, that could have easily been screw the Commodore 64 and everything it stands for, but it didn't stop them. So I think that's a real testament to their strengths of character that they were able to sort of get past that, even though it still obviously is a shit thing to have done to them. Now, there is some extra details here as well. So you can read that interview on Lemon. The questions he asks that were sort of highlighted to me: what is your worst memory of the C64 days? And he says getting ripped off by Thalamus Newsfield when they went under owing us lots of cash. And then the question is there anything about those days that you would change if you had the opportunity? And he put, Thalamus Newsfield, not trusted them at all, got a solicitor to dig up all the dirt on them and to get our royalties, of which we got none. Never even had a statement. But I think he's awful. But there is also a couple of extra footnotes to this. So firstly, there's an entry in the games that weren't for Creatures 2. And that's because a couple of the other versions I don't think ever came out properly. So the Amiga and the Atari ST version, there's an entry on there for those. And there's also a little bit of a footnote around Creatures 1 as well. I won't, go into, there's no point in going into too much detail around it. It's nothing crazy or anything like that. But the Spectrum version never got released as well on that. So I think the C64 version stands as one of the only versions that really ever came to be. Final footnote is that there's also a Creatures 2 bonus game part that never was. And the good thing there is that you can download it and see where it was going. Now, there's the kind of a road view in there. And I'm not sure where it would have fitted into the game. And it's got some really nice sort of styling to it. It looks a bit like CJ's Elephant Antics sort of style. So I don't know where it would have fit, but it's a parallax side-scrolling effect and stuff like that. It's really nicely done. There's nothing that you can actually play. It's just an interesting footnote that there was clearly more to it than there was going to be more in there and more ideas thrown around. And I guess this shows you that they had so much time when they developed this. Not so much time, I suppose that's the wrong way to put it, but they took so much time in terms of the passion behind it that they were able to build extra things and then not necessarily include them, which is how you want to be when you're making games. So many of the C64 games have been crammed together in 2 weeks and released. This is, they've taken so much time to build stuff that they could actually afford to look back and go, maybe that's going to affect the balance of the game. Maybe we don't put that in. And that's the position you want to be in. So an amazing game, really funny, really enjoyable, beautifully drawn graphics, beautiful presentation, brilliant music, brilliant theming. One of the best games I've played in ages on the C64. And I had such a laugh playing it. And it's rock hard. I didn't care. It's so easy to get back into on the Easy Flash version. Even if you die, you can be back into the game in seconds. So I had a really good time with it. Definitely go and play that one. It's one of the greats, I think, on the C64. Of course, there's this sting in the tail, isn't there? That they never got paid for it, which I just can't get my head around. But what did you think?
No, it's a bit shitty. Weirdly, this was Moby Games notes that there was a release. This was released on iPad and iPhone in 2012.
Yeah, that's a bit cool. I never saw it though.
No, I don't know if it's still available. But it was a worldwide release. Apex Computer Productions. I don't know.
Same people.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much in agreement. I think there's just something. Okay, we'll get to it. One thing. I mean, you can't fault the presentation here. It's just incredible. I mean, the intro is really good. The C2 part actually made me laugh out loud when it came together. Yeah. I was like, that's very good. All right. Yeah. But yeah, that's really, really, really good. It's a genuine proper chuckle because I just wasn't expecting it, and it just really worked really well. To the level of polish here is really something else, and it was the kind of thing I was expecting more of at this point. I thought, we're going to get, as people get more, maybe the A lot of people have left the machine by this point, but those who really invested in it, I was thinking, we've got to get those games we're still getting. And we get some good presentation in the budget stuff from Zeppelin stuff, but this is another level completely. When it continues into the game, it all flows so well. The little interstitials are great. And like you, the dancing on the beat row of Clyde's just popping on from the left and right. I was chuckling. I was just watching them go across for ages. And I was like, and not only does it look really good, it's technically very good because that's a lot of sprites.
Yeah, there's loads moving on there.
Yeah, I was like, that's a lot of sprites moving there. Obviously, there are 2 rows of 8 moving in a thing, so you can see the split.
But then they start shooting them up from the bottom, don't they? Like fireworks.
Yeah. All looks good, sounds great. It's really good. For me, and it's the thing what you noted as well, it's the difficulty and the inclusion of lives and the need to keep going back and redoing levels that take time, but just get a bit grating after a while. I like having to do level 1 again because I lost all my lives figuring out subsequent levels. It's just a real annoyance. Puts me off the game a little bit because I'm like, I can do level 1. But it takes time. It takes time to do it. You got to jump across, jump on the platforms, kick the bomb, come back, kill the one that's there, get the thing, shoot down, drop down. It just takes time, and then doing the bouncy, getting them across. But I think, for me, this it comes quite late. So by its very nature, this should be a pickup from where you left off kind of game. Give me passwords, give me whatever you want, but give me something. Because this puts me in mind of later games. It puts me in mind of games like, they're not exactly the same, but things like Super Meat Boy, N++, other brutal single level things, where it was just like really quick in, you die, start again, die, start again, die, start again. And I just wish it had done, a forward thinking thing, gotten rid of the lives. Having endless retries of these levels wouldn't have made it worse.
No.
Because it's still dead hard. Some of them are rock hard to try. You'll die and get frustrated to die, but you don't have to go, I've only got 5 tries at this, and then I've got to do all the other ones again. And then I might. And because what happens when you go back to the beginning, you rush. And when you rush, you die. So it just gets really frustrating and kind of puts you off. I mean, because the levels themselves, the puzzles, trying to work out what you got to do, they're hard to do, especially in the time limit that you've got. Trying to figure out what to do, when to go, in what order to do things. So add the added pressure of lives. I mean, you go all the way back to the beginning. It's just annoying. So I know in the here and now, obviously we have Vice, we have the Easy Flash version, and I could get around this with save states. So, you can get around it now. It's fine. But playing it as it's meant to be played with, in the way that it was designed and everything, it just got a bit too trying for me after a while. I can't fault the game itself. Everything about it works exactly as it should. It's ingenious. The levels are really clever. It is really good fun. I really enjoyed my time playing it, but I just wanted to be kept going. Let me keep batting my head at this puzzle. Let me keep doing it because it's got to take several hours to work your way through what's there.
Oh God, yeah.
There's a lot of game. I mean, it's going to take loads and loads of hours to actually do it in one go, if at all. I don't know. I mean, I get that back then lives was still a thing. That was the design, and that was all sorts of thing. But I think this is such a good game, and the release on iPad, iPhone, I bet did away with that. It stands up now. It's still great fun to play. It annoys me that they're in there. Another game I think that this reminded me of that comes quite soon after this in tone and general vibe is Lemmings.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah.
Because that's kind of another little sort of cutesy, kind of, well, everyone knows what Lemmings is, but I think that's the sort of, maybe this is a precursor to that, maybe. There's maybe a little bit of that kind of seeing little creatures explode and get into peril and drop into things and stuff like that. So I think that there's a sort of a bit of a lineage there. This is a really good game, though. It is really good. I much preferred it to the first one because I didn't particularly like the platforming in the first one. And I think this type of gameplay suits this kind of visuals more, and it's more fun. But I just wish, I could play it without the lives, but I'd love that. I mean, about that version on the iPad, I'd love a modern version of this where they just went to town and did loads and loads of torture screens and just let you go at it. I bet there's games like, what's that other one? Not Stupid. Is it Stupid Ways to Die?
Oh yeah, Dumb Ways to Die.
Dumb Ways to Die. That feels similar as well.
Yeah.
It's those kind of puzzly games, isn't it? And there's loads of them now.
It's that vibe.
Yeah, so I think this would really work. This would still work today if this was sort of repackaged a little bit and sort of some of the things ironed out. But I think it's a really, really impressive game. And I agree with you. Definitely worthy of that gold medal. And visually, it's astonishingly good. And orally and everything. It's an incredible piece of work by the pair of them. Shame they never got paid. It's really crappy that as well. The fact that this came out, they must have known that they were going down the tubes.
Yes.
And they must have known that they couldn't pay them. I mean, that seems really crappy.
Yep.
Really, really bad. But yeah, Creature 2, Touch Trouble. Go play it. It's really good.
Yeah, it is really good.
But expect to be frustrated.
Yeah, well, impressed at the visuals. The graphics blew my mind. They're so good.
Yeah, they are very good. There's a lot of very clever tech going on here.
Yeah.
Lots. There you go. Creatures 2, Torch Trouble. Already this month is better than January.
Yep, without a doubt.
But will it stay that way, Graham? Will it stay that way? Well, let's see as we move on to our second game this week. Okay. This is it's Neighbours.
Everybody needs good neighbours.
It's $10.99. Got 31%.
Bloody hell.
Ooh, the game that everyone was begging for in 1992 is finally here.
Late to that party, isn't it?
Everyone needs them. Everyone needs a little understanding. Everyone needs someone to be there for one another. And everyone needs good friends.
It's true.
It's time for you to don your Jason Donovan mask and enjoy the thrills and spills of the Neighbours game. Yay. For those not familiar with Neighbours, those 5 of our listeners, according to the wiki, Neighbours is an Australian television soap opera that has aired since 18th of March 1985, created by television executive Reg Watson. The Seven Network commissioned the show following the success of Watson's earlier soap, Sons and Daughters, Love and Laughter. Although successful in Melbourne, which is really specific, Neighbours underperformed in the Sydney market. No, you can't underperform in the Sydney market and expect to get going.
No, not the Sydney market.
If I know anything about Australian TV, it's you've got to perform in the Sydney market. It was cancelled by Seven Network 4 months after it began airing. Weird, huh?
Wow, that's weird.
But it was immediately commissioned by rival Network 10 for a second production season, which began screening on 20th of January 1986. Neighbours went on to become the longest-running drama series in Australian television history.
Drama?
2005. It was inducted. It was drama. It was inducted into the Logie Hall of Fame. It was still going through many different production companies. I mean, Channel 5 and stuff, and Sky brought some up to this year. It's finally been cancelled again. Final shows will air in December of this year.
Wow. My gosh. Comes to an end.
I know. And I know this will make Steve Erickson sad, as I believe it is his favourite TV show ever. And I'm not making that up. He said it on a recent episode of the Retro Asylum podcast.
Steve, what are you going to do?
I know. What are you going to do with that? You know, I don't even know who's in it anymore. Who's in it? Is anyone still recognisable?
It's a soap opera, so everybody that was in it originally will be in it again because
it's
anything like EastEnders. I actually flicked across the channels the other day. I know EastEnders ain't Neighbours, but I flicked across the channel and Kath was in it. I was like, goodness me, have I time travelled or something? So
yeah, you have.
And Sharon as well.
Yeah, they're all back. They're all back in POG form. Yeah. Anyway, the game. This was published by Impulse, because of course it was, as that is Zeppelin's full price range, and they're the only company making anything by this point.
True.
It was coded by Ian Copeland, graphics by David Taylor, and music by Adam Gilmore. Oh. We've seen them before. They've been responsible for loads of Zeppelin games, between them Ed the Duck, Jockey Wilson's Darts Compendium, loads of others. It's a Zeppelin bunch. According to the back of the box, this is the premise of the game. This statement at the top, it says, Impulse presents the game no one else dared bring you.
Why?
They can't be being serious here.
No.
They can't be. On a hot Ramsey Street day, there's nothing better than slipping a few burgers on the barbie and challenging your friends and neighbours to a light-hearted race. Naturally, everyone chooses their favourite vehicles. Henry the gardener rides his souped-up grass cutter, and mechanically-minded Charlene scoots around in a nippy go-kart. Of course, life in the top-rated soap is never that simple. Mrs. Mangle doesn't approve of such antics and will stop any unlucky contestant with their dreaded rolling pin. Bouncer the dog runs loose. Yeah, yes, they were, yeah. Bouncer the dog runs loose around Ramsey Street, and the local wildlife park reports that several of their kangaroos have gone missing. Of course he had. It's like, if I could ring a bell for every Australian thing here, every Australian cliche. Barbie.
Where's my Chuzwazzer?
Add to that a jogging keep fit Harold and Bruce, the Outback Opal prospector determined to make his fortune.
Who?
Bruce, it's a double win. It's a double Australian.
He's
called Bruce. Hey, Bruce. What's your name, Bruce?
You go, Bruce.
It's Mr. Bruce to you. The Outback Opal prospector determined to make his fortune, and you end up with a fast action game overflowing with thrills and spills.
Ooh.
The game's got a loading screen. It's that shot of Ramsey Street that we'll probably recognise is on the cover. We're going to actually discuss that in a couple of episodes' time because we'll be looking at the cover for this. Our patrons have asked us to put it into the crap verts, and so we'll look at it. I mean, the loading screen's okay. It looks like Ramsey Street, I guess.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
8-bit Ramsey Street.
8-bit Ramsey Street. When the game loads, you get a fairly simple title screen. You've got the show's logo at the top and some credits. You also get It's a decent version of the theme tune. I guess.
It was all right. Yeah,
it's good to hear. Turns into a proper funky version. They've done it after the first. Sort of stanza or whatever the first
I suppose
part.
it would do because there's not really that much of it, is there? It's very short. It's the opening theme. But it's only on for what?
It's quite
15 seconds.
Ploddy though, isn't it? And then it goes really funky. But going on Zeppelin's previous efforts though, it feels a little flat, lacking their usual level of presentation. I thought it's usually a bit better their front ends. It's not bad. It's just nothing to do but listen to the music and then press fire. But pressing fire brings us to the options screen, and I think it's supposed to be the garage of one of the houses, probably Scott and Charlene's. So here. You pick, it's kind of the options, and I quite like how this would go. There are 4 portraits on the wall. These allow you to choose the number of racers you'll race against from 1 to 4. So there's up to five racers. You've got Charlene Ramsey, or it just calls Lenny.
Okay,
because it couldn't fit Charlene probably in the gap. It's called a Lenny. They always call her that in the show.
They do, yeah. Well, they did, yeah. That was her nickname, wasn't it?
Was it? Okay, she rides the go-kart. Henry Ramsey is the tractor lawnmower. Mike Young is on the skateboard. And Matt Robinson is on the motorbike. I don't remember Matt Robinson. Remember Matt Robinson?
Yeah, one of the Robinsons. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. But you can't pick and choose, though, who races. No. But if you select Mike, so Charlene's on the left, then next day on the right, you got Charlene, left to right goes Charlene, Henry, Mike, Matt. So whoever you pick, it selects everyone to the left of them. So if you pick Mike, you'll race against Henry and Charlene as well. It's odd. It's an odd way of doing it. And I'd like to just be able to choose them all individually. So, to the right, on the right hand side of the screen, there's 3 different skateboard speeds. You've got slow, medium, and fast. Pretty, because you're on a skateboard in the race as well. And then there's on the floor, there's a bike with a coat sort of underneath it, and this is hiding hazards. So there's wildlife and radio controlled cars, and you move the coat to cover them up or reveal them. And again, you can have one of them or both of them, but not either. No, it's an odd way of doing it. I did quite like this option screen though. Keep it in the world of the game. I thought it was quite nice. Yeah, true. But I'd still like to have selected things individually. But it is what it is. Once you're done, there's a sign that says exit, and this takes us to the race. So this essentially is a multi-directional scrolling isometric racing game around the various locations of Neighbours, I guess. The screen has the UI at the bottom. It's got your position in the bottom left. It's got that over an image of Australia, just in case you forgot.
In case you forget where it's set, yeah.
Yeah, then we've got the Neighbours logo taking up a huge swathe of the UI, although this is more than just for show for once. There is actually a point to that. And on the right of this, we have the present lap and your score, which is of no use. There's no high score in this. So, pointless.
Just there.
Yeah. The game window takes up the rest of the screen, say about 4/5 of the screen. And at the start of the game, even if you're only racing Charlene, it says you're in 5th position. Weird.
Yeah, it does, which is weird.
So you've got a lot of catching up to do. You've got to catch up to people that don't exist. The look of this reminded me, it's got a sort of similar look to Paperboy.
I thought that. Similar
use of colours and angle.
Yeah,
just looks like that. But although, this is a multi-directional scrolling rather than just sort of the up and to the right of Paperboy. You play as Scott, so you're Scott Ramsey on his skateboard, be decked all in blue, and you're kind of a couple of sprites high, I suppose. The rest of the racers line up next to you, and the random assortment of machines is actually quite amusing. It's quite random. It is.
Very.
There's no countdown, so you just wait, and then there's a sound of a shot, and the race is on. You control Scott by holding down fire to go faster in the direction you are facing, and left and right for rotation. So it's a rotational one. So how you turn, you keep going in the direction you're facing. You can let go of fire and pull back. So down on the joystick to stop him, you stop quicker to brake, should you want to do that. I don't think up does anything. So,
I don't remember it doing anything.
No. So along the track, if you're playing without any obstacles, I'll start this. So you've not selected any obstacles. Along the track, they're like pairs of flashing beacons on the floor. These are like, your gates in a sort of skiing or things like that. But you've got to go through them. Your job is to make it around the track and go between all the pairs of beacons. When you go through them, they stop flashing to indicate that you've done that one. Well done. You must go through all of them. If you miss one, you won't register a complete lap. You've got to go back and redo that one. Failure to go through even one of them, the lap is not complete. The aim of the game is to not come last, as that means game over. But there is another way that you can also lose. There are various hazards on the track. At the most basic level, if you've not chosen any of the hazards, they're the beacons. If you crash the beacons, you fall over. The curbs, so there's roadside curbs. And there's open manhole covers, which you can fall down. If you reveal the wildlife in the options screen, you get kangaroos, emus, and Mrs. Mangles, and Arolds and stuff wandering the streets. If you reveal the car as well, then it adds even more obstacles to the track, including Bounce of the dog and cars and stuff. So there's loads of crazy crap. Just on these streets. Everywhere. So if you hit any of the obstacles or even the other competitors, you fall over, you respawn back slightly from where you were. And the Neighbours logo will drain. So it's all filled in white. And basically that will start to drain. It'll start to, the white will start to go drain from it. It's turning slowly black all the way across. If it turns all the way black, game over. So don't fall over a lot is the message here. However, there are some handy arrows on the course. If you pick one of these up, it will refill the logo slightly. It's supposed to represent the audience's enthusiasm or happiness with what's going on. Okay. That's what it's supposed to represent. So the ratings, no, it's just basically an energy meter. Yeah. But then you can refill that by picking up the arrows a little bit. That's all it is. So there are 4 locations to race through. The first one you do is Ramsey Street. It's tarmac and houses and you have to do 3 laps. There's Anson's Corner. These may be something to people who know Neighbours better than me.
Yeah, that is all part of the show.
That's similar to Ramsey Street, just a little more twisty course and tighter roads. And again, 3 laps. There's Erinsborough High School. I recognise that. Puts you on a dirt track, which must be hellish for skateboards. It's even more tight and twisty, 3 laps. And finally, there's the Lassiter's Race. Again, this is on dirt. It's the longest track, and you got to complete 2 of them. Now, each of these locations has to be done both forward and in reverse, and don't come last. Like I said, it's game over on any of them. You come last, game over, no matter which one you're on. When you win a race, you get a screen. I'm not quite sure what this screen was. There's someone sitting in front of a house saying how well you did. Weird. It's probably a house from the show. I don't know whose. How well you did, and you get some bonus points. But just to remind you, on each side of the screen is another image of Australia.
Yeah, just in case you forgot.
Just in case you forgot where this was set. Ding, ding, Australia again. Should you make it through all 8 tracks, you get told you completed the game, and you're then dumped back to the title screen. Oh, and this is a multi-load. Each track is a single load, so you get to enjoy that as well, a multi-load as well. And that's kind of it. So that's it. This is a boring game, and that's not even its biggest issue. I wouldn't say it looks terrible, really. The sprites are a bit blocky, kind of work. I mean, there are 16 points of rotation on your sprite, I suppose, which is nice. Yeah. But it is completely lacking in animation. You never kick off on the skateboard. It just moves along like a Marty's hoverboard. It's like an electric one or something. Your only animation is rotation or falling down a manhole cover or when you fall over or something like that. The races, though, are dull because, once again, there's no lack of music. I don't know what you get, but just some standard, and you just get some really standard and unremarkable sound effects. The trackside visuals are okay, trees and bushes. They're all grey, though, which is weird. Yeah. I think there's some kind of vegetation disease clearly rife in Ramsey Street at this point. I'm not quite sure what's happened.
Yep.
And the houses, like I said, think of Paperboy, and you're not too far off what this looks like. The dirt tracks are similarly dull. Nothing really stands out that makes this feel like Neighbours. Nothing. They're not the biggest problems, though. I could take that if it's like, okay, but the racing's all right. The biggest problem here is the controls, the jerky controls, and the lack of a standard speed. You go way faster when you're going up or down or a diagonal than when moving left to right. I don't know if you found this. And this leads to lurching turns.
Yeah.
You kind of turn to go around a corner and suddenly go,
yeah.
You're just lurching all over the place.
Speed's all over the place.
Yeah, so it's just ridiculous. You only shoot up in speed, which means you overcorrect, or you'll just plow. You don't think, at this speed, I can easily get around this corner, but you don't. As soon as you turn at an angle, your speed goes up. So then you're onto the curbs and you're falling over and stuff like that, which is just a nightmare. Or you try to correct and you end up missing some beacons and then have to loop round and hitting an object or flying off the track and into the grass or dirt. It just becomes a pain in the friggin' ass. So it makes navigating the track, especially the later, thinner and more twisty ones, a real exercise in frustration. So that ruins it. It absolutely just breaks this game because you can't sort of compensate for that because you just as you're sort of going around the corners. I did like the fact that colliding with another character knocks them off too. We don't see that very often in these kind of games. They just usually meander away. So that was all right. But they don't get set back like you do. So I guess you can't have everything. They just get up from where they are. So usually I did find myself, I'd get set back, and just as they get up, I'd go into them again because of the naff controls. And it's just repeat and rinse and repeat, which is a pain in the ass. Supposedly, according to a comment on Lemon, this is based on a real episode of the show, that there was a race that they all had. And I can see this kind of thing happening in the show where they had one of these stupid races. But the issue is that was a random array of vehicles for a race the defining element of Neighbours?
No,
it wasn't, was it? Of course it wasn't. Once again, a change of character visuals and front end. This could be anything. This could be, Scooby's kart race, or it could be, Top Cat's downtown racing.
Yeah, it could have been Home and Away, couldn't it?
It could have been anything. How do you make a game based on Neighbours? You base it on the characters, of course. That takes time and effort. This is a full price game, so we're not talking budget. Just get it out the door quick here. This. There could have been some thought put into it. How do you make a Neighbours game? Well, you probably shouldn't. It's probably the right answer. But I guess it's just easy to just grab an episode where they race and stick out a game that's worse than Run the Gauntlet, because that's what this also reminded me of. I didn't particularly like this. I thought it was quite bad. It's annoying to control and dull to play. And I don't remember Ramsey Street being beset by wandering kangaroos and emus.
Not as far as I remember.
If that's what they were, I mean, it's hard to tell. Bouncers, there's multiple bouncers. I mean, there's bouncers all over the shop. But, I guess it's a game set in Australia, I do believe. So you have to shoehorn them in somehow. And as well, I didn't notice this, but we got, for his sake, we got AL82 Retro to do a long play of this, because there was no long plays of this on YouTube. So I had to go through the whole damn thing myself, but he went through it as well. And he made a good point, is that you can't get out of Ramsey Street because the roads are all just a loop.
True.
So it's like you're just trapped on Ramsey Street. That's why they could never leave. But I thought it was quite funny. Anyway, my final thought on this is this was definitely a no, Daff, no for me. So I didn't like this. Absolutely. This is definitely an Harold. And other such Neighbours things that I remember. This was rubbish. It's not very good. What did you think?
Oh, no. This didn't need to be, did it? A mixture of 720 Degrees and Paperboy, and not very good at being either of those, really. Yeah. What the hell's it got to do with Neighbours anyway? I mean, okay, you loosely base it on an episode, but I'm sure other more exciting things happened in loads of other episodes in that show. I remember one where there's one where, isn't there, where Bouncer gets run over? That'd have been, no, you have to rescue Bouncer. That'd have been, or Daphne gets run over, you got to bring her back. No, we'll figure out who did it. There's a bunch of things that they could have done this. Games like this, if you're going to do a game based on something like this, of course you're going to do one that's probably a walk and seek type game, or a point and click. It's the logical place to go with a game like Neighbours. So to make a skate or die variation, or whatever you want to call this, I didn't think it was very good at being any of those things. Frustratingly difficult to play, as you avoid every kind of Australian stereotyping 8-bit sprite format known to man. And not very good at those either. I didn't know that was Mrs. Mangle, but now you say it is. But she looks to me like she's waving a dildo, not a bloody rolling pin.
Well, she was known to do that in the show.
No wonder Scott was running away from her.
That was Neighbours After Dark.
Where he gets a little blue. And all the bouncers as well. It's like someone cloned Bouncer and badly. It was just dripping in Neighbours shite, wasn't it? But it wasn't really a very good game, let alone a Neighbours game. And so just clearly one made to appeal to the whatever fans there were. I mean, it did have a massive following in the UK, especially, so I can see why they released it. Although it seems oddly late to that, because the peak time for this wasn't the late 90s, or the mid 90s, early 90s, was it? It was in the, I don't know, was it in the 80s really? The late 80s really? For 88, 89 was the peak Australian. The UK got obsessed with Australia, didn't it, for a while? It was just peak sort of. I don't think it was pretty glamorous for its time compared to the UK dreariness of Coronation Street, where we had Mike Baldwin being punched in the face every now and again by an angry bloody Ken Barlow, with Deirdre going, "Oh, Ken, what you doing?" That was all we had. So when some glamorous bunch of youngsters came on, as they would have looked, the Kylie Minogues and people like that, no wonder people would flock into Neighbours like in droves, because it was on at tea time, wasn't it? It's on at the right time as well. All that said, this game has literally nothing to do with that. It was pretty dreary as it goes. I didn't enjoy it. So, and I normally like games where I'm maybe tripping through Homer's webpage, but not this time. It was pretty crap. So, nah, bugger off. The Neighbours are not good friends if they're making me do this kind of rubbish. No, they're not. No. Nope.
There we go. That's our first couple of games this week. We loved one of them. We didn't like the other one. It's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. Some win some, you lose some. You do. We're going to go away, take a quick break. When we come back, we've got lots of records to talk about that were coming out in February 1992. So please do stay with us.
The novel Escape from the Commodore 64 by David Hearn is out now. Crash landing on a green planet full of vector graphics, can Sarah find a way to escape for real? Or is she stranded on a planet full of sun, sea, and chippy tea forever? Imagine finding yourself in a cinematic karate game, having to rescue a princess or remain stuck under the run-stop key forever. What about finding yourself on a space freighter full of robots? Could you clear the decks? If you were transported back to a Wild West town, having to round up outlaws, could you survive until sunset? What if you were a wizard with a cat who must colour worlds? Could you beat the game, or would a virtual guitar solo announce your demise? Sarah might just be another visitor, but she doesn't want to stay a while, never mind forever. Available from Amazon and all good online retailers, discover if there's a way out in Escape from the Commodore 64. Visit davidhearnwriter.com to find out more.
And we're back. What was going on? What was going on in the charts? February 1992. Well, at number 1 for the first 2 weeks, it's still, or was it still, or were they think? Are they back? It's Goodnight Girl by Wet Wet Wet.
Yeah. Just scoffing crisps and what's it all the time? That's all he was doing.
Sucking it down. He just mushes them all together into a massive what's it sausage,
like a paste,
and then just necks it. Oh.
And then when he poops them out, they just come out like an orange paste, like what RoboCop eats.
Just passes through him.
Yeah. He's just like it comes out like a machine.
Minimal resistance.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no grip inside his innards.
Let's move on quick. I hate that thought. So the last 2 weeks we talked about this already, but it's "Stay" by Shakespeare's Sister. Which is a very impressive song. It's a really, really good song. So,
it is, and it did stay around for a bit, didn't it? It's quite popular.
It did. You've got some notes here on the musicality of this song, Graham.
Yes, because if you're ever wondering what she hits in that song, which is pretty high, isn't it? It's actually a high F, or what's known as an F6. So just to explain and put it into context, if middle F, and that's F4, is the F just above middle C, which is C4, on the piano keyboard, of course. And then F5 is obviously an octave above that. That's the kind of top note you might hear a soprano hit in a strong passage, which sounded painful when I read that description. F6 is another octave higher still at around 1,397 hertz in frequency. It sits at the top edge of the classical soprano range and sits in what's called the whistle register for most singers. So that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
That is quite high.
That's
higher than I can go.
No, dog whistles are higher than that slightly. So that's pretty high. It is higher than you can go. I'm sorry to say it is.
Yeah. I mean, I might get close to it if I tread on a Lego.
I think you would. I think you'd go beyond it if you treaded on Lego. That's the Lego register. That's a whole different. You're in a different league of note there, and there's no piano keyboard that has that on it. But I mean, that's pretty to be able to get to. If you go on a piano, find middle F, which is near middle C, obviously, and then just jump 2 octaves up and out, ning, it's really high up. It's not easy to hit that and sing it like she does. I mean, me saying ning is not the same thing, just to be very clear about that.
I thought for a moment you'd hit it, Graham. I was like, wow. I never expected that from you. I can
safely say that my ning was nowhere near. It was probably an F2, actually.
Your ning was no nang.
No, it certainly was not. It was not a ning nang.
2nd of February. In at number 12 is Dixie Narco EP by Primal Scream.
Yeah, I got instant Vic and Bob vibes from the opening of that. It's like jink kind of thing. But isn't it just the Rolling Stones, really, that?
Oh, massively, yeah. I mean, everyone knows this song because it's the My Shining Star, Moving On Up, which is the main single of this. It's massively influenced by the Stones, almost litigiously so, if you ask me. Yeah. It's like, but it's crazy how much this sounds like the Rolling Stones. Because the rest of the songs on this EP are rubbish.
Right.
Sorry if you like them, to them. I listened to them today and they're rubbish. They should have just released Moving On Up as a proper single.
Yeah, they should have. I mean, I heard it. It's a song I'd heard everywhere, so it must have been played everywhere. It did the rounds, didn't it? But
yeah, it is an okay song. It's probably my favourite Primal Scream track. But because it is a good song, but then it's because it sounds like the Rolling Stones when they.
Yes, it do. It really do.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I didn't like the next one though, because in at number 18 is For Your Babies by Simply Red.
No, middle of the road bread pant material from old Mickey and the Ucknalls. Weepy black and white video though, wasn't it? With an odd sentiment, I felt. There's a strong chance that at least 8 of the kids in that video were the product of his man yeast.
Ew. I read that and I was like, I can't comment. I can't comment further.
Popped a few buns in his time, that one.
Let's move on. In at number 29 is Steel Bars by Michael Bolton.
There's a lot of hair in it. There's Bolter. It's got so much hair again. It's crazy. And I've realised that it is actually attached to his hat, isn't it? His cap.
He takes his hat off and his hair goes with it.
He's just bald, yeah.
He's just bald. He's like the era of Star Trek.
It is good old Bolter's hair.
Or him out of Star Trek, which would be more opposite. I don't know why I went to hair in Star Trek the motion picture for someone bald in Star Trek when there's Picard.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. You could have gone for the obvious, but you went for Ilea. I admire that. That's dedication, and that's deep knowledge. That's a deeper kind of knowledge.
That's the niche kind of content you get on this podcast.
You went Decker's way. You followed the Decker.
I'll tell you why. It's because earlier on we were talking about Goodma.
Yeah, Goodma. Yeah, well, yeah.
So the first Star Trek film was in my mind.
Exactly. Yeah, but you were you were a fan of Ilea and Decker unit. Yeah, songs and odd mixture of Hungry Eyes and St Elmo's Fire. I thought, though.
Yeah, power ballad-tastic.
St Elmo's Eyes.
St Elmo's Eyes. Hungry St Elmo. Oh, Hungry Elmo. Hey! Sesame Street.
Elmo hungry. Good, because Michael's here to sing you a song.
He's going to feed you his hair. This is so MOR. They paint the white lines around it.
It really is, isn't it? Safe. Safe. You're safe in his hands.
Number 31 is What You Do to Me EP by Teenage Fan Club.
Is that your thing, this? Totally.
Yeah, I was listening to it here. I've not heard it for a while, but hearing it, I was like, this is massively sort of influenced by the Beach Boys. There's huge Beach Boys influences on this, I thought. It's got some, I thought, but might be just me. But I just could hear some Beach Boys type stuff in this.
Okay.
Some of their later things.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like this, though. It's very simple. It's catchy,
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I was going to say, I never liked it. That doesn't mean it's rubbish. It just means it just wasn't my thing at all. It's not your thing.
No. This is off the Teenage Fan Club, which the one album of the Bandwagon-esque, which I do like. In at number 34 is Moira Jane's Cafe.
Moira,
by Definition of Sound.
Yeah. Not sure what to make of it. I'm not even sure if I even watched the right video on YouTube for it. I think it was.
Know. Yeah, it feels like this is something in Brown Sauce's wheelhouse, but not mine.
Yeah, total Brown Sauce territory. That he's all over it.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah. In at number 36 is Stop by Mega City 4.
Again, it's over to you.
It's over for me, yeah. And I mean, I really like Stop. Great catchy tune from Mega City 4. It's off the Sebastopol Road album, I think, which is their third album. We'll probably talk about that when it comes out, because that's my favourite one. I really like the song. Great lyrics from Wiz, lead singer. Really nice lyrics. Always rest in peace. Sad loss when he died.
He died, didn't know he died?
Yeah, Wiz died. I think it's about 2004 or something like that.
Wow, that's tragic.
I know, it really was. He was really young. But yeah, there you go. But yeah, I do like Stop. It's got just a nice sentiment to it, and it's a catchy tune. Yeah, my thing. Also, what should have been my thing and might become is number 37. This is the Comeuppance EP by 1,000 Yard Stare.
Not my thing at all.
No, I was aware of them. I'd heard of them. I don't think I'd ever listened to them, though. But upon listening to this song, I think I'm going to have to rectify that because I really like this song. I thought it was a great tune.
Thought you'd like it.
Yeah, and there's the video quite sepia. They sort of sat around, but it made me really wistful for the early 90s. There's like a certain
that vibe. I'll give it that.
There's a certain look to what they had and everything. It just made me go, oh, we kind of used to look a bit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sort of around about the same age, but about 20.
Familiarity to it, yeah, there was a bit.
Yeah, there's right nostalgic bit to it. There's another bit song
you
later
look
on.
like I didn't look anything like that. I looked like a giant haystack.
Well, but, there were people around that looked like that, and it made me feel a bit like, that's my youth. In at number 41 is Frequency by Alternate.
They did their thing, I guess, but rave was kind of vanishing a bit. This kind of rave, anyway. So it's a throwback to that. I never really liked it. Just full of annoying samples.
I say, they clearly had dedication to the brand, didn't they? And I bet they were really safe during COVID because they wore masks.
They did. Yeah, that was their kind of thing.
They were way ahead of their time.
Yeah.
In at number 42 is Monkey Business by Danger.
Where did you find this? Did you time travel or something?
It's in the charts.
It's weird. It was really weird. This it caught me off guard. Because I thought they've obviously been trapped in the Phantom Zone, and then they've somehow escaped. And so it's an 80s hair metal band. This complete with cheesy songs, overly suggestive lyrics of which you found which were hilarious. Scantily clad women. Felt like a Kiss tribute band, which is funny because they toured with Kiss. No idea why this even happened, nor why it featured a woman molesting a monkey at the start. Just plain weird. And I just don't, leave the monkeys alone. I think they've had enough.
Yeah. I when I watched that, I thought, there's got to be a parody. This must be a parody. This can't be serious.
You think so, wouldn't you?
These lyrics, I went and looked for the lyrics because when I was listening to them going, so I'm just going to read out some of these lyrics. From the start,
bad.
It goes, people say I got a dirty mind, but you don't think so clean. See, it takes one to know one. And baby, I've known some, if you know what I mean. Come on, little sister, I could be your Mr. Right if you got the time. So if you're in the mood for a slow poke honey, baby, won't you give me a try? Well, yeah, we can do it all day, do it all night. Well, yeah, ain't gonna stop till I get it right. 'Cause there ain't no business like monkey business. Climb on up my tree. No, there ain't no business like monkey business. Monkey around with me. Goes on like that. That's just the first half.
There's an entire verse about King Kong in that song.
Oh, yeah, old King Kong, he had a thing for blondes. The ladies were driving him ape. Then that poor boy slipped and he lost his grip from the top of the Empire State. This can't be real.
That's an Edward Lear limerick, isn't it? Well, where are they going with that, honestly? And then you look at the album cover.
The album's called Screw It. There's another line later on that says, climb up on my tree, just like the birds and the bees, a bungle in the jungle, which made me laugh because I thought of bungle palming, or to do the trick for me. It's just rubbish. Like, what year is this from?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? They were in there. I thought, like you, I thought they must be a parody. They're not. They're a legitimate band, a US band of that type, touring with Kiss, touring with all those bands of that type at the time. They seem to have got caught in a time vortex. But when you look at their history, they are very much like a US Spinal Tap. There's even a chart on the wiki for them, which gives you it's almost like a Gantt chart of their band members over time, or the worst tube map I've ever seen. But either way, and they've all been in different bands, where they were in the New Originals, and we thought, should we be the Thamesmen again? It's very Spinal Tap, their history, but then the album cover did make me laugh, where it's a semi-naked woman eating a banana swinging on a monkey. It's just, go and check it out. Don't listen to it, though, because it'll just offend you, but
it's just rubbish.
It is rubbish, utter rubbish.
It's genuinely rubbish, but very funny. I thought this had gone 1986, 87 at the latest. We'd seen the sort of end of this. It makes Dangerous Toys look highbrow.
It does, yeah. It does give them a kind of new quality aspect, doesn't it?
Yeah. In at number 45 is Alone, from the sublime to the ridiculous. In at number 45 is Alone With You by Texas.
Don't like Texas. Boring song. Boring.
Yeah, ploddy.
Yes, very much so.
In at number 46 is The Big Ones Get Away by Buffy St. Marie.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. Oh, bad song. I just wasn't sure where it appeared from. It just seemed to come from nowhere.
Well, no, I've never heard this, so I went and looked on Wiki. And Buffy St. Marie is an interesting story here, according to it. She was an American singer-songwriter and social activist. St. Marie's singing and writing repertoire includes subjects of love, war, religion, and mysticism, and her work has often focused on issues facing Indigenous peoples of the United States and Canada. She's won recognition, awards, and honours for her music, as well as her work in education and social activism. She co-wrote the song Up Where We Belong for the film An Officer and a Gentleman. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Won the Academy Award for Best Original Song. Also won the Golden Globe. Since the early 1960s, though, St. Marie claimed Indigenous Canadian ancestry, but a 2023 investigation by CBC News concluded she was born in the United States and is of Italian and English descent. Some Indigenous musicians and organisations called for awards she won while falsely claiming an Indigenous identity to be rescinded. In 2025, many of her awards and honours were revoked, including her membership in the Order of Canada, her induction into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, her Juno Awards, and her Polaris Music Prizes.
Wow, what a random thing to claim to not be that.
I know, I'm Canadian, me. You're not.
You're not, and we proved it in tests. I mean, you're taking all your crap off you. Oh, even my, you're not going to take my Juno Award, eh? We're taking everything. Give us the awards back. You're not Canadian.
Yeah, absolutely.
They take it very seriously, them Canadians, Don't mess with them.
I know, we tip your table over as well on the way out. But yeah, there you go. Buffy St. Marie. I'd never heard of her, but I thought it was quite an interesting story when I looked it up.
And she's not allowed to buy maple syrup for the rest of time.
Ever. Absolutely. And the police knock on the door, she plays a Bryan Adams record. Oh, Rush.
See, I am Canadian. Make with the maple syrup.
Absolutely. Give us it back.
Give us it back and we'll let you off this time.
Yours. You claim you invented it. From the funny to the actually genuinely tragic. Number 50, Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton.
Awful.
This is awful.
No, not the song. What happened is awful. It's such a tragedy. I mean, goodness me. I can't imagine going through what he went through for that.
No, I don't want to. Just unthinkable.
I remember hearing about it at the time, and without going into all the horror of it all, but his very young 4-year-old son fell from a window of a 53rd floor New York apartment building and died, obviously. And shortly after that, Eric Clapton actually arrived just after at the apartment. I cannot fathom that.
No.
So it's understandable because the song's really, really, it's a beautiful ballad, obviously written in the memory of that and the pain of that loss. I just can't imagine that. I don't know how you get over something like that, but obviously Eric Clapton eventually did. But my gosh, the horror of that.
Yeah. In at number 51 is Once You've Tasted Love by Take That.
Oh, this is in the very early days of Take That, where you've got some kind of homoerotic robot version of Gary Barlow. I'm not sure what happened to him at this point. Part Terminator, part God knows what, part Roy Batty
part
from
Billy
Blade Runner.
Idol.
Very Billy Idol, yeah. His hair is just a bouffant of blonde ice cream at this point, isn't it?
It's not good.
But dreadful song. They never really talk about it that much because this was one they were touring the high schools with in the UK at the time. It's utterly awful. They came to a school near us, actually, not far from us in Grimsby, way back then, and caused a right stir with the 150 screaming girls, of course, which was which was the fashion at the time. He wore onions on his belt as well. But yeah, just rubbish. Take That obviously became a much more of a powerful institution in the UK, not based on this rubbish, though. It's amazing that they even got off the launch pad with this crap going on. Well,
yeah, it's aimed at young girls, and probably this seems very heavily aimed at the gay disco scene as well.
I think they would have gone either way. I think what they were trying to do was pitch their innings here. So, they were just trying to broadly, this was the spaghetti at the wall attempt at, one of them's going to stick. It's either going to be popular in the gay disco scene or it's going to be popular with the teeny girls. Just by process of the spaghetti went to the right to the left. It was the young girls that made it popular. But it could have gone either way. And I think it is still they do still have a massive gay following, though, a bit like Kylie Minogue and all of that. There's a camp quality to them, so I guess.
Yeah. In at number 67 is Where's Me Jumper by the Sultans of Ping FC.
Where's Me Jumper?
Absolutely love this song. Lyrics are dead funny on this song compared to that Danger nonsense. And my mum will be so angry. And my brother and my dog will be so angry.
I remember hearing it a lot in the barge back then, which for reference is a pub in Grimsby on an actual barge. But I remember that, but I don't remember ever really liking it that much. But I know it's a bit like that other one, that hey, diddy oh day, that one though. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, that one. I remember hearing that in there. And they're funny songs when you're drunk in the pub at the time.
Yeah, they are. But this actually stands up. I think this got used to get played a lot in the indie clubs as well when I was going to them.
I can imagine. Yeah,
and it was always a floor filler. Always, and everyone always had a really good time to this song. Just one of those songs.
I can imagine they did. I can imagine it. I wouldn't have, but I can imagine that you did.
No, I imagine you didn't. I had a great time.
No.
9th of February, in at number 6 is Remember the Time by Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Great special effects in that one. They're really good special effects. Top of the range special effects. 9-minute video from old fidgety MJ here on full fidgety form. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, he's errored, hasn't he? He's errored.
It's about to blue screen.
Yeah, and you know what, right? So a couple of things to note here. Firstly, I found a list of the most expensive music videos ever made. It's number 19 on that chart for reference. It cost $2 million at the time, but the adjusted cost for modern money, it's about $4.5 million. That's actually $5 million less than the most expensive video ever made at that time, which was also a Michael Jackson video, by the way, and Janet Jackson's one, Scream.
Okay, yeah.
But John Singleton directed it, quite a famous director at the time, lots of fancy special effects in it. And apparently, from what I read, and now I have to question the logic of this, Michael Jackson apparently revisited some traditional Egyptian dancing in order to make the dance sequence in this, which is very elaborate, of course, and very lavish special effects and very self-indulgent. Of course it is. He's heading down that kind of crazy avenue where he was just becoming this complete egomaniac. However, when I looked at the dancing, I thought, he's doing that kind of sand shuffle dance that guy used to do, that old comedian in Britain, that that he was doing that. I'm like, you didn't invent that, you little shuffler.
He probably
ripped him off. He did. He was doing that. I don't even know what you call that dance, the sand shuffle dance, I guess. But famously, there was an act in the vaudeville Britain, where they used to throw a load of sand on the stage and go, "Hey, where's me washboard?" and then come on and go, and do this weird shuffle dance where they did the Egyptian hands, they walk like the Egyptian hands. Yeah. So he just did that a lot with fancy special effects attached. Get back to your time pit, I say.
Yes. Mine was just so much money for so little substance. The song's boring. There's barely a song here.
And it's got, what's his name in it? Eddie Murphy's in it as well.
Eddie Murphy and Iman. It's Iman at the beginning, isn't it?
Iman Bowie, yeah, she's in it as well. Not David, though. David's got more taste than that. He's like, I don't think he was married to her at the time, though, so it would explain why he wasn't there.
No, and she was yet to go through Star Trek 6, I think, wasn't she?
It's coming out soon, isn't it? As well.
It is, yeah. There's loads of Star Trek references this week.
Right, yeah.
Too many for my liking.
She's a comoloid in that. A comoloid, just so you know.
Shapeshifter.
Yeah, comoloid,
yeah. In at number 9 is Leave Them All Behind by Ride.
Noise.
Yeah, I like this one. This is one of the Ride tracks I do like. Good song to stick on when you're reading back then, just to have on in
background.
Yeah. Unlike this one, and there's a similarity between these two, but I'd never liked these. Number 10 is Reverence by Jesus and Mary Chain.
Nope, not my thing.
No, never a Mary Chain fan. Listen, and I always wondered, should I have been? But as we've done this podcast, we've listened to a lot of their singles. I realised I was proving right about that saddle.
I were right about that band, though. I were right.
Yeah, I was right. I should have never liked them. I didn't.
Yeah. That's fair.
In number 13 is My Girl, 1992 by The Temptations.
Yeah, it was a re-release because of the movie.
Yeah.
1950s it came out originally, I think.
Yeah, something like that. In at number 17, though, is Alive by Pearl Jam.
Aye, great track that is. Great track.
Yeah.
Now, I came to like these later in life, and I understand their importance, but I only understand it from later in life, as in
retrospectively.
I didn't listen. Yeah, I didn't really listen or even think of them at the time, but I've come to really like many of their songs. But I'm over to you on this one because I know you were into them for quite a lot.
Yeah,
I
mean, I got into them at the time. It was my girlfriend at the time, Emma. She got me into them. She said, "Listen to this. You'll probably like this." And I listened to it, and I went, "You're right, I do."
And then she played the album, and it was just she was just somebody squeezing oranges on the tape she played.
You'll probably like this. So I do. I love the orange. I love the old orange squeezing.
Well, are they Jaffa?
I'll give you the wrong tape. No, leave it. Leave the tape.
Leave that tape. What was it about Pearl Jam?
She actually gave me some Pearl Jam, which is really hard to spread on your toast.
Crunchy, yeah.
Yeah, really crunchy. But no, Pearl Jam, great. Well, and this is the thing. I like 10, which this is off, obviously, their first album. I really like. I mean, 10 is an amazing album. Like,
it is.
All time, one of all my all-time favourites. And I do like some of their later songs. Probably Rearview Mirror is my favourite Pearl Jam song, which is on Versus or Vitalogy. But I don't like any of their later albums. Not a single one.
Interesting.
I only ever liked 10 because I think the rest were just not as good. The cohesion, every track on this is brilliant. All of them, every single one. And Eddie Vedder's voice, the guitar parts, they're just embedded in my brain. I used to listen to this album so much. I think I had this and Angel Dust, Faith No More, back to back on the tape, possibly. And it was just a sort of, that kind of new alternative rock sound. That was just amazing at the time. And I was just this was just such a strong album.
It is good. It is really good.
I mean, and I don't know if they released Black as a single. I don't think they did. But to have a song like Black in the middle of an album, and it's like, good God, just astonishing, this album. Just so good. So good. And this is a great song, this. And it's not even Jeremy. We haven't got to Jeremy yet.
Yeah, true.
Is this the first time we've seen Pearl Jam? I think it is, isn't it?
I think it is, actually, yeah, because I remember this being my first encounter with them back then was this song. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So, because I remember thinking, I do remember liking this song back then, but it wasn't quite in the direction of music that I was listening to or going to be listening to as I was sort of finding my own way a little bit. But like I said, many years later, I've come to really like many of their songs. And in particular, I actually quite like Vitalogy as an album. Don't get me wrong, 10 is an amazing album as well. But my favourite track of theirs is Nothing Man. I think it's just sublime. It's just a beautiful song.
They've got so many great songs.
Yeah, they just capture pain. When he sings about the pain of something happening, that's about suicide, that particular song. But obviously, Alive and Jeremy's and all the other songs, that just you feel Eddie Vedder's pain in the voice. He sings with a really deep passion, and I love about that.
He's up there with Chris Cornell for me.
Yeah, absolutely right, 100%.
Because the way he can sing, just incredible.
You're in good company there, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think as well, the other thing with Pearl Jam is that this album wrongly, for me, got lumped into the sub pop grunge.
Yes, I would agree with that.
It's not. It's a rock album. It's a rock album. The sub pop sort of grunge is more your sort of evolution of punk. Your 4-chord thing stuff. It's that kind. You look at Nirvana stuff. It's power chords and it's quite simple musically. These songs are not simple musically. Great guitar parts all the way through them, and the singing, the vocals and everything. They're not a grunge band. And I think that kind of may put them into the wrong bracket back then when this came out.
I think they were misbranded, and I think it's because they looked a certain way, but they didn't sound that way.
Same with Soundgarden.
They just looked a bit scruffy and I think people were associating scruffy bands with grunge because they were kind of scruffy looking. And that wasn't, it elided their amazing talent and musicianship and everything else. And like you say, Soundgarden kind of got branded the same, but they were nowhere near in that kind of, they weren't that kind of band, really.
Yeah. I think like Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilots were lumped in the same thing, and they were not sub pop grunge bands.
He didn't wash his t-shirt for a couple of weeks. Oh, you're in a bloody grunge band. No, I just didn't have a chance to put a clean t-shirt on. Get back to the grunge band charts. I don't want to be in there.
Put your big jumper on.
Yeah, with holes in it. It's the Matrix styling, isn't it? Whole Matrix movies, they've just got the one thing they could make in the near future was jumpers with holes in.
The
looms, the Matrix name. Never mind that, but in that, so what's it called? That place
Zion.
where they all end up in Zion. The looms fully functional. That's all we can say, or mostly functional. But the jumpers were threadbare. They'd worn them that much. But thank God for those Matrix-powered looms.
Indeed. He is the one who can knit a whole jumper.
He is the one. Can he fix the loom? Has he got a bobbin? Has anyone got a bobbin?
When you realise you won't need to fix the loom.
Is it the red bobbin or the blue bobbin?
Yeah, I don't know. You think that's yarn you're weaving? Interesting.
It's a whole new take on the Matrix. It really is. But it is a loom based. They've all got loomed clothes. It's well loomed.
Loomy. Loomy Matrix. Yeah. Anyway, number 20 is The Go-Go Dancer by The Wedding Present.
It's the my cup of tea again. Yeah, not my cup of tea at all. That.
If you've heard The Wedding Present, you've heard this song. It's more Wedding Present. And number 24 is the Mutations EP by Orbital.
See, now, I like Orbital and I like this track, but I don't love them or it. This kind of transient sort of semi-rave techno-y direction. I like the direction and I like the music as it became, especially now. I listen to a lot of this sort of music now, but there was just, I don't know, at this particular time, I just found the Orbital a little bit pretentious, maybe, dare I say.
Orbital, they come back with things like the box and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They're an amazing technical,
later on, I really like the box and things like that.
Yeah, they're good. And I wasn't quite into this sound at this time.
No, so I found this really boring to listen to outside the venue it's clearly designed for.
Yeah, completely. And that was a bit of a discovery for me later, is when I started going out to clubs and stuff and listening to a lot more techno and a lot more, actually probably hard house really for me, I have to be honest. But that sort of stuff, you realise how powerful it is in that environment and how amazing it is. Then you think, that's why. So, okay. I totally get where you're coming from with that. But yeah.
And at number 25 is Dream Come True by the Brand New Heavies.
Yeah. I didn't get invited to the kind of parties where they played that music.
No. Well, that's because you tend to punch the cakes, those kind of parties.
I only did that once and I screwed a beer can into it. Just saying. And that's a beer can, not bacon. So
true. And at number 27 is The Force Behind the Power. That's quite a title, isn't it?
Darth Vader's favourite track, isn't it? That? Without a doubt.
It's Diana Ross, though.
You don't know the force behind the power. Oh, he'd have sung that great.
It's my favourite Diana Ross song.
Darth Vader being a fan of Diana Ross is brilliant, though, isn't it? He would be.
Yeah, he would be.
He would be, of course he would. It's got to like music. Underneath all of his bravado and his painful lava-based injuries and his costume, there was a human under there. He pooped out of the same, place, I think, that.
You like to have a boogie.
He's just a human.
Absolutely. He can be seen in the corner sometimes at the Mos Eisley Cantina, jigging down.
Yeah, exactly.
or at the back of Jabba's palace.
Exactly. Play Michael Jackson. Play The Force Behind the Power.
Diana Ross. We don't know it.
Diana Ross.
You will play it. You will play it if you know what's good for you. Pray I don't ask for something else.
Yeah, you want Darth Vader coming up making requests, do you? Like, it's Vader again.
Yeah.
For God's sake, if you got that Diana Ross track, put it on quick or we'll be over here.
Or have him heckling if you were at a comedy gig, if you were the comedian. Darth Vader heckling you.
What would his heckles be?
I don't know.
I find your lack of jokes disturbing.
Your lack of humour disturbing.
Vader, pipe down, mate. Pipe down. Give him a cheese triangle or something. Somebody. So anyway, but yeah, Michael Jackson's producer clearly bumped into Diana Ross in the corridor. Something happened. An egg was produced. We don't know where from or how. this song hatched out of that egg.
There you go. In at number 29 is Love Thing by Tina Turner.
Yeah, classy old Tina Turner, isn't she? Bit safe though, this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it was filmed on the set of a Michael Bay film.
It really did, actually, didn't it?
I'm sure I've seen that, that airplane hanger in a Michael Bay film. I think it was in, what's the asteroid one? What's the asteroid one?
Yeah, Armageddon.
I'm sure there's a bit in an airplane hangar. Either that or
Transformers.
Tom Cruise has caught a plane in that airplane hangar. I've seen it in loads of things, that airplane hangar. I'm sure I have.
Yeah, what's that one he did with Nicolas Cage? Where he's that escaped prisoner? Michael Bay.
Con Air.
The Con Air, is it? He did that? Did he do that? And The Rock?
No, he didn't. He didn't do that. He did The Rock. Sorry, he did The Rock.
That's probably what I'm thinking of. It measures 3.6 Ronkin, though. 3.6 Ronkin, doesn't it? It was not great, but not terrible. Well, in Chernobyl, in the TV show Chernobyl.
Oh yeah.
It says, doesn't it? It says that what's the radiation? He says it's 3.6 Ronkin. He goes, well, it's not terrible, it's not great, but that's the highest the decimeters go, isn't it?
Yeah, it was actually about 15,000.
Yeah, 16,000 Ronkin. Yeah, it was very, very dangerous.
Yeah, it was cooking people from the inside out in about 2 seconds.
Oh yeah. You weren't going to live long if you went near that reactor.
No. In number 30, that took a dark turn. In number 30, it's Optimistic by Optimistic 1992 by The Sounds of Blackness.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was.
Boring.
Yeah, rubbish.
What it was. Yeah.
In at number 36 is Far Out by Sons of Loop de Loop Era.
You won't like that.
I didn't.
No, BTEC student project video as well.
Yeah, but again, this was the other video that had me like waves of nostalgia looking at the people in it. Yeah, it was like that was us lot running out of Grimsby College. It just looked like our BTEC group. It did, actually. To be fair, it's what made me think of it. I was like, straight away, I was like, I think we've made videos like that. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that was us 30 years ago. 20 years ago, I was going to say 30. Yeah. So number 38, It Must Be Love. Love. Madness.
Re-release because it was on the My Girl soundtrack, I believe. Because it came out in 1981 originally, I think. Yeah. So, just more money for Suggs and Co, innit? Yep. More money. Must be love, yep. Must be more money. 16th of February, in at number 7 is I Love Your Smile. As soon as that started, I was like, and when I saw the title, I went, is this that one? And it started, and went, I was like, yeah, as soon as you hear it, you're like, yeah. It's not offensive, is it? You can't really hate it. No. It's kind of catchy and okay. Yeah, that initial hook is really catchy. It's not my thing, this. You can't help but like this, but kind of like this, because it's just so like, I like yours. Yeah, it's like songs by, what's her name, innit? I Want to Dance with Somebody and stuff like that. It might not be a thing, but you can't help but like them. Yeah. I want to dance. Whitney Houston, yeah. Whitney Houston, yeah. I mean, Whitney Houston stuff's good. It just sounds a bit like Whitney Houston, but it's good. Yeah. We haven't made that joke in a few years. The only thing that ever sounded like Whitney, yeah. And it's like this one as well. As soon as I saw the title, I went, oh, it's this one. Number 10, It's a Fine Day by Opus 3. It's a fine day. I never liked this dreary track, though. Moven Melancholy. Don't like it. Musically interesting, I'll give it that. But the vocals remain and always have done my bloody head in. It's gonna be a fine la 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 lee. Oh, it's that one. The singer had an interesting look, didn't she? She looked like Ilea out of Star Trek. It all goes full circle, Adrian, doesn't it? It really does. Goodman, I like this song. Goodman like this song. She did look like Ilea. It's Decca's favourite track. It is. So, I was wondering if there was like a Balearic angle to this song, whether it done quite well, but it's February, so I'm not quite sure. It feels like a song that you might hear back then in some of the sort of Ibiza clubs and stuff. It's not outside the realms of possibility, actually, is it? Because at the end of the day, it could have been in the previous summer or in the late summer, and then you just got released over here. Yeah, quite possibly. It just had that kind of feel to it with that sort of the beat and everything. It has got that vibe. I'll give you that. Some of those sort of more laid back clubs and stuff they have over there. Yeah, true. I was wondering, I don't know. Number 11 is Thought I'd Died and Gone to Heaven by Bryan Adams. This bloody thing, it's so blue. It's blue. It's blue. It is so blue. Why is it so blue? I don't know. Is it cold? Is it Predator with broken thermal camera? Your comment at the start of this, I was like, and then I saw the start of the video and I was like, oh. Yeah, because it does look like you're going through just zooming through a close-up of his hair, which I thought it was. And then it's not. It's a field of grass and he stood in it. But I'm like, that looked like his hair. So does that mean his hair is a field of grass? His hair is just grass? It is, yeah. And I think it is, actually. Bryan Adams has got grass hair. Yeah, at least he's a true blue Canadian, though, not like those fake Canadians we spoke about earlier. Yeah, he's all Canadian, all of it. If you open his shirt, his actually skin is just like lumberjack pattern shirt.
If you cut him in half like a piece of rock, he's like maple leaf all the way through.
He bleeds maple syrup.
We're losing so many listeners.
Or gaining many, because we've identified that he is actually kidding. Bless him. Bless Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
All he stands for. He's a good egg.
Russia, my favourite band.
Exactly. He's a good egg. Oh, Bryan Adams. This isn't a terrible song. It's not great, but it's not terrible. It's another 3.6 Romkin, isn't it?
It's neither good nor great. Is blue supposed to represent heaven? It looks chilly. I thought heaven would be a bit warmer. Yeah.
Yeah, heaven is a place on Earth. Clearly, it's the Antarctic where he's gone. It's freezing.
It's
polar bears.
his head.
It is. It's just he's on his head, and his head is cold, isn't it?
Yeah. In at number 14 is Live in Manchester Parts 1 and 2 by N. Joy.
A live thing captured probably. Now, this is interesting only in that this kind of thing wasn't massively common then. Later, these kind of live DJ recordings became massively, the mix series and stuff where people just recorded live mixes and released them, they became massive. So we don't know if this is you need Brown Sauce to give you the kind of lowdown on the histrionics of it, because he just plugs himself into his Matrix-style computer, weaves himself a new jumper, and then with holes in, and then he's able to ready-made holes for all the right places, and then he is able to tell you exactly where this all came from. However, for me, like I said, the place to listen to this stuff was in the actual venues. Unfortunate this time, excessively smoky, full of gurning, amphetamine-loaded, babbling nutcases and ecstasy-chugging smiley arm wavers. In fact, because I knew a few of them, always thirsty. They were, though, and very sweaty, very, very sweaty.
Mm-hmm. No, this wasn't for me.
Not your thing.
No. In at number 21 is Are You Ready to Fly, Bobby, by Rosella.
Can you fly, Bobby? Yeah, tonight at the Pier 39,
Yes.
Good vocals on a boring track.
Yeah. Who knew you could hire the local steelworks for all your music video needs?
There was more steam than people, wasn't there, in that? It was very steamy. Not for good reasons, though. Yeah.
No. And at number 25 is Laid So Low, Tears Roll Down by Tears for Fears.
Bracket song, yeah. I've come to like the odd Tears for Fears track over the years. Not that one, though.
No, a bit dull and lifeless, as you've written, right? Yeah. Very Tears for Fears from this period. It felt a bit aimless. It's not really going anywhere.
That is, unfortunately, the mainstay of their output. When I say I like a few of their tracks, I mean a few.
Yeah, true. The ones that don't. The ones that actually go somewhere have good tunes.
Yeah.
In at number 33 is Covers EP by Everything But The Girl. God, this is twee. Even by their standards.
Twee. It is. I thought they were different to this, but they really are twiddly diddly twee, aren't they? Brown Sauce.
You could put this over Heartland.
Yeah. You really could. It was that twiddly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's one song of this kind of theirs that I like, which is 25th of December, and that's because it's got kind of a nice sentiment. But this one, nah, it's not for me. It's very Beautiful South as well. Did you think?
I could see that. Yes, I could see hints of Beautiful South as you've written there. Yeah, and the video as you've written is quite interesting. The sort of comic book look they were going for.
Yeah, I quite like what they were going for was quite good. It just, as much as it had terrible chroma key, it was okay. But the song didn't go with that.
Very twee. In at number 34 is Hardcore Heaven for / You and Me by DJ Seduction. Don't call yourself that.
No, don't ever call yourself
DJ
that.
Now. Tonight is DJ Seduction.
It's not good, no,
it's called
don't ever
Barry.
Do that. It's Barry Seduction.
Barry.
DJ Barry would
Smith.
be better. In fact, we knew a DJ Barry, didn't we? Actually,
we did know a DJ Barry, yeah. He didn't need none of this DJ Seduction nonsense.
No, that was his other name, which he never told us. Thank God. We'd have never let him live it down if he did.
No, true.
Unlikely you'd like that, so I didn't think you would. Very Amiga demo, that. Very Amiga demo.
Yeah. And at number 35 is Massive Attack, EP by Massive Attack.
Yeah, I found a track off that called Hymn of the Big Wheel, which was the Nelly Hooper mix. It's a collection of tracks, individual tracks with mostly remixes. There's an Oakenfold remix on that as well, I think.
Right.
They're an interesting setup, Massive Attack. They were never on my radar at the time, really. Over the years, I've heard them a lot, and the tracks I've always liked. But not this one particularly. It's very unedgy and a bit MOR, even by their standards, compared to things like Teardrop and Unfinished Sympathy and all that stuff. So I don't know. I just didn't find this one as good as the other ones I'd heard. A bit crystals and beads, really. That.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it, actually. Yeah. Number 36 is the EP, Brand New Mixes by Zero B. Lots of EPs. What's going on? I don't know what this is.
No,
more dance stuff. Just more dancey stuff.
More dancey stuff. What baffled me was how this even charted. I mean, it's quite good at what it's doing, again, but I didn't find the chart was the place where you'd normally find this. I think I was questioning whether this was a an indication of how low record sales had to be to actually get in the chart. But I think maybe you're right about where, actually probably just
loads of DJs up and down the country buying this sort of thing.
But it'd have to be a lot of DJs buying it.
Well, there's a lot of places in the country where
it's nearly in the top 30, I suppose, but just struck me as odd. But I'm thinking, how many tracks at this point, how many did you have to sell to get into the top 40? And I'm guessing probably not that many at this end.
Maybe a few thousand.
Yeah, maybe that's, okay. It is pretty good for what it was.
Yeah. 23rd of February, in at number 15 is Dragging Me Down by the Inspiral Carpets.
Horrible. Rubbish.
Yeah,
I hated that. It sounded shite.
Yeah, not one of their high points. I didn't like that.
No, they weren't inspiring anyone. They're inspiring really worn carpets with bad edges.
Holes in, but badly loomed.
Matrix carpets, badly
loomed carpets.
Yeah.
Number 18 is I Know by New Atlantic.
Boring song, but a funny video, I thought.
Amiga demo.
Yeah, totally that. Silhouetted dancing man. They did do the Amiga demo. Bogman is the demo that it reminded me of.
Yeah. Number 19 is Make It On My Own by Alison Limerick. What?
More. MOR.
I hated... What do you write? Sounds like a song that Sonia rejected, which is damning. Damning. That's really damning.
It does sound like that.
And I instantly, as soon as this song started, the video started, I disliked everyone in the video. The drummer has a beret on backwards.
Who does that? Who wears the beret, a backwards beret? He wore a backwards beret. Go.
No, not even Ben Von Bellier wore it backwards, and he was annoying enough. I got to put it on backwards because it gets in the way of my drumming. It's a beret.
The beret. Don't wear a beret when you're drumming. You're getting no cool points from me. Very pretentious to do that. Very pretentious video, actually, a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, they didn't make me happy, so I turned it off. And at number 23 is Weather With You by Crowded House.
Oh, no.
Everyone knows this. Everyone.
Yeah, but
everyone knows this.
If you're from the UK, don't follow the advice unless you want to piss everybody off who's on holiday. I'm not a fan of this band or this song particularly. It's not horribly offensive. It's just plain bad advice, and I don't like that.
I played in the pub where I worked back then. This always used to get played every week.
I can imagine.
It's too damn nice. I mean, my comment, Crowded House are like the New Zealand version of the Lightning Seeds. You don't dislike them, but I think with the comment I said about that, loads of people like them, but no one loves them. No one loves them.
Yeah, true. It's got a good middle eight. I'll give it that. It's got a good bridge to chorus going on.
But they're too... There's not enough meat there to actually... I love these.
No, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. In at number 34 is Don't Let It Show On Your Face by a diva.
Yeah. There must have just been a queue of talented vocalists out there, and somebody just went, right, can we have 3 talented house singers, please? We've got a house track we need a backing for, and they just pick them out because they just seem to be coming out every 2 seconds. Yeah. Great vocal, boring track, though.
Yeah, another one of these, another one. How many of these do I have to listen to?
The video was tonally, at certain points, really bright. I felt my retinas nearly got burned out at one point. It was just like so red.
It was very red. Yeah, they'd stolen all the red for the Bryan Adams video, and that's why it was blue.
that's why it was blue, yeah. So blue. It was blue. Yeah.
Speaking of colours, in at number 39 is Violet by Seal.
Yes.
Just
not very interesting, was it? Dull. Throw him a fish. Liven him up.
Yeah, he just liked to clap.
I'd like to see him clap for a fish. They should have put fish and seal. They could have done a duet. How did that not happen?
I don't know. Fish, seal, and wet, wet, wet.
Oh dear. That's just waiting to be made, isn't it? Really, I mean, all the ingredients are there.
Absolutely. Because if there was ever and they could have got Great White involved. There's loads of them, I reckon. If there was like a maritime disaster, if they were going to do a charity single, these are the people you'd want in on it, wouldn't you?
Yes,
seal,
absolutely.
Fish,
Seal,
wet, wet,
fish,
wet, Great White.
Wet. Yeah.
There's probably others I can't think of.
There'll be loads of others.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The Maritime 3. I don't know if they exist. In at number 40 is Accident Waiting to Happen by Billy Bragg.
Yeah, he's like Mr. Torrance, isn't he? He's the UK Mr. Torrance. He's always been here, if I may be so bold. He's Mr. Torrance.
Based on this video, I could never trust him because I can't trust someone who buttons their lumberjack shirt up to the top, very top, and tucks it in to hide in something. I don't trust it.
If he opens that, he's got Bryan Adams in there.
He's got a jumper on with a hole in it.
Billy Bragg is just a suit that Bryan Adams wears. It's a man suit. Billy Bragg he's still around and he's still very politically aggravated And
he is,
so
yeah.
don't be offended by what I've just said, Billy, please. It's only meant in jest. Don't take it seriously, mate. Have a bit of fun. He's been kind of serious his whole life, and I get that. He's very committed to his political motivations.
Let off a bit of steam.
Literally let off the steam. That's where you keep it.
The pop video. Get some of that.
Yeah.
In at number 42 is On Every Street by Dire Straits.
Yeah, this is like just put a coin in the machine and this is the Dire Straits just go just play the Dire Straits, don't they? This is straight out the jukebox. Did
you listen to all of this? Because when that guitar comes in at about 3 minutes, it's Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah, no. It totally is. Yeah,
I was like, this is Don't Fear the Reaper. You just nicked it.
Well, Dire Straits can do what they want, can't they?
They can. There must be a Dire Straits to nick that, though. Don't Fear the Reaper's a great song. But
yeah, it is good, yeah. Blue Oyster Cult, yeah.
Yeah. In at number 51 is Heart of Soul by The Cult.
I didn't realise they were still going at this point. I don't know why I didn't realise that. They're vampires. They live forever, don't they? This was cheesy, but his vocals did not work for this song at all. It was clear he can't sing ballads from this. Don't let him do it because he gets all his voice just goes all warbly and weird, and I'm like, you give him some cheese or something, give him give him someone to drink the blood of or whatever he needs, but he ain't getting it because it sounds awful. So, and his neck vanished. Gone.
Well, that's because there's so much chest in this video.
There is. He's all chest.
That's why there's no neck. It's all taken up with chest. Everywhere you look in this video is chest.
All chest, no neck.
0898.
He is burly for a little, isn't he?
Yeah, and the guitarist is obviously quite proud of his his muscles sort of thing because he's all chest. It's all chest. Put your chest away. Take a leaf out of Billy Bragg's thing. Put a shirt on and do it up.
He is. These are the inspiration for that burly guy we saw who crashed and broke his chest with those drinks in that nightclub we were in. Where he just toppled. He didn't fall, he toppled. He was like someone felled him like a tree. He just went, wham. We laugh about that still to this day. Because I don't think nobody would believe that we saw that, but we actually saw a mighty oak fall.
Like it was hewn from the ankle down.
Because that was where we saw that crow man, wasn't it? We saw the crow man in there with his crazy cowboy boots. We saw a crow man and we saw a tree man being felled, tree beard. We saw what happens if tree beard falls over with 2 pints.
Yeah, what happens if a tree beard falls over in a club and no one's around?
He chested a table. I don't think he dropped his drinks, but he just chested that table bad.
Yeah, that table's never been the same since.
It just disappeared.
Yeah. And finally is in at number 69 is Sheila Gig by PJ Harvey.
Yeah. I thought, is this a Trent Reznor song or is it written by? It felt like it, didn't it?
No,
that vibe.
It's written by PJ
interesting,
Harvey.
But not my thing.
I mean, I like this song. I've always liked this song. Always a favourite on the indie dance floor. It's got a really good thing. But I never knew that what a Sheila Gig was. I just thought it was some kind of sort of Gaelic, sort of Celtic term for something. It sounds like, Sheila Gig is a figurative carving of a naked woman displaying an exaggerated vulva. These carvings from the Middle Ages are architectural grotesques found throughout most of Europe on cathedrals, castles, and other buildings.
Interesting. Okay.
There's an interview sort of thing on the wiki about this, where she said it's not about those things. I just kind of use some of the figurative about about them, and it's but I don't know.
It became quite controversial, didn't it? I think the video got banned.
Quite possibly.
Sorry, certainly get banned. The video got content struck off YouTube because of something in it. Yeah, so every now and again it gets put back on and I think that was what happened to it. Or it was content struck off something because of its content in the video, which is nothing what I saw, but I'm immune to such things. You sit through the first season of Spartacus, Blood of Sand, and Game of Thrones. Yeah, you watch the first seasons of them, and you don't see violence on videos anymore after that, and gore and sex. You just don't see it. I'm immune.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's all the music. Some good tunes there. Some good stuff. Yeah. Some interesting stuff.
Yeah, some interesting bits and bobs. Yeah.
Yeah. Looming of jumpers.
So it's always nice to get to make, because they don't get a lot of press, do they, the old loomers of Matrix? But they kept them going in woolen jumpers for all that time while they were trying to find the one knitter.
Yeah. When you see it, you won't need to loom. There we go. That's the music. Let's go away. Let's take a quick break. Stop thinking about looms. We still have 2 more games to get through this week. Okay. See you in a bit.
The Escape from the Commodore 64 by David Hearn is out now. Growing up in the 80s is a chore for Sarah, who feels misunderstood by her parents and badgered by Reese, her bothersome brother who incessantly prattles on about his treasured computer games. When Reese tells her one of the games tried to pull him inside the computer, she laughs off his fanciful fib. She waggles the joystick to disprove his fairy tale and is pulled into the computer. Now trapped in games she'd never had any interest in playing, how can she possibly beat them? With the help of feisty Nell, another trapped player, can Sarah find her way back home, or is it game over? An evil madman, a hostile planet, bloodthirsty robots, a never-ending throng of karate experts, and relentless digital soldiers will do their best to ensure Sarah never escapes. Available from Amazon and all good online retailers, find out if there's a way out of the beige bread bin of betrayal for Sarah in Escape from the Commodore 64.
And we're back. We've still got 2 games to get through.
We do.
Graham, the first one, it's over to you for the first one. These words don't go together, but tell us all about Bubble Dizzy.
Oh, Bubble Dizzy. $3.99 this. Codemasters published it. Developed by Reflective Designs, though. Okay. 82% it got. Now, coder was Dave Hayes. He did Wrestling Superstars and this. Graphics, though, Jonathan Smythe. Now, he did CJ's Elephant Antics.
Yeah. He got in contact with us on Facebook. He sort of commented on one of our posts saying he'd done the graphics for that Phileas Fogg game.
There were good graphics in that.
And I said to him, I said that was the best thing about it. And he was like, he had nothing to do with the design.
I'm sorry, it had nothing to do with me.
But it was like, fair point. I mean, he didn't. If he didn't, he said he wished he had a bit more input into the design of the games, but he didn't. So there you go.
Yeah. So he did the graphics and the title screen for this as well, and they're okay. There's a question or two about the positioning of the sword on the back of an egg, but we'll come to that later maybe. And the musician here was Chris Lightfoot. Now, this is his first outing, but he goes on to do other stuff as well, and the music ain't that bad either. So, okay, good start to your little C64 life. Late in the day, but good. Dizzy, though, what's it all about? Well, he's in trouble again, Adrian. Dizzy's in trouble again. Dizzy was taking a boat journey to visit his girlfriend, Daisy, and present her with a glittering pearl necklace.
Oh, dear.
All right, give me a minute. The old romantic. But catastrophe strikes as Dizzy discovers he's not a passenger. He's not on a passenger boat at all. It's a pirate ship captained by none other than the evil Captain Blackheart. Yikes! Yells Dizzy as Blackheart snatched the pearls from his clutches. Ouch! Blackheart hollered, "Avast there! Splice the main brace and chuck this landlubber over the side," and other piratey cliches. With that, Dizzy was made to walk the plank, and sploosh into the ocean he fell. As Dizzy sank into the mysterious ocean caverns, there was only one thing for it: head for the surface, and fast. And it says, Dizzy gets physical. I quite like that. Physical, spelled F-I-Z-Z-I-C-A-L. I like that. Funny. Okay. To rise to the surface, Dizzy can jump onto the bubbles rising from the floor of the deep caverns. Leap on top of a bubble, stay balanced, and Dizzy floats towards the surface. But look out, that bubble could burst at any moment. By leaping onto bubbles and ledges, Dizzy can reach the surface and leap onto land. Some ledges house oysters, from which Dizzy collects pearls. If he gets enough, he can make a new pearl necklace and win Daisy's love. You need to do that as well.
It's an egg.
It's an egg. Ledges on the cavern wall make handy resting places for Dizzy. Danger lurks in the caverns. Beware of the ocean creatures which can drain Dizzy's energy. And don't run out of oxygen either, because eggs need to breathe for some reason.
They do.
Okay, so that's what the game's about. Okay, very straightforward stuff actually here. There's an interesting, if unusual, title screen. It's well drawn. I'll give it credit. It's a nice job from John. But it is a man poking an egg up the arse, which is what it is.
Yeah.
And you can joke about, he's poking him up his crack because here's an egg, and eggs do get cracks. So, all right, we'll do
true.
that. For some reason, Dizzy's wearing boxing gloves. I'm not sure why. But okay,
no yolk.
It doesn't matter. It's no yolk. It's no yolk. And there are egg-based puns coming. Trust me on that. A different take on the Dizzy games here, really, wasn't it? This one is more of a side qual, an eggy side qual, isn't it? A side dish. It's more of a Fu Young, maybe, is it?
It's a poached egg on the side.
It's a poached egg on the side. Yeah, it is. It's a bit, it is that kind of thing. Instead of the usual tumbling and walking around an environment getting all egg-sighted and exasperated, you walked off the plank on a ship and dropped into the ocean bed. Right? Now you've got to use your eggy skills, like I said, of moving and jumping, and using the bubbles floating upwards to navigate back to the top to escape the level and then get kicked back in the sea again. only to have to do it all again with more hazards. That's the game. Don't hate the players, hate the game. If you're going to hate anything. Nice title screen, the loading screen, and a reasonably good title screen, actually. It catches the theme. Quite nice. There's a nice bubbly effect on the water. Nice big bubbly logo. It's a bit different to what you'd expect from a Dizzy game, this. And I quite like it because of that. It's a lot more arcade, this, and all the better for it, if you ask me. Because I've never really been a big fan of the Dizzy games, I have to say. They're not terrible games, and they're just not my thing, but I never quite got into them. And they were really more Spectrum, I think, really, than anything else, aren't they? Yeah. Anyway, so this game, then, the graphics are, again, actually pretty damn good for this. Really nicely designed background details and sprites. Not in the same league as the Creatures 2, but still pretty good, actually, for what they are. And they look nice and look the part. And nice there's some decent colour. Yeah, I was going to say, nice use of colour here as well. It feels oceany. No, and I don't mean like an ocean game. It feels like a game set in the ocean. No brown envelopes required for this. The bottom of the screen is a mini UI of sorts with score, bonus, your number of dizzies left, and the current oxygen in kind of text with a little oxygen meter, of course, because eggs need to breathe, of course, which for reasons they do. And Dizzy the egg looks eggy, I guess, and more cute than weird. Well, more cute than the weird, mad-faced egg person that's on the loading screen, I think. He's a bit more cute than that. So, and that quite works to his advantage. Thank God they didn't make him look like that weird egg man. Because he better run, that egg. You better run, egg. The cuteness works for this game here. And it is, again, a kind of console. There's a console-y Mario-esque vibe to the look of this. There's some lessons being learned, I think, from... Because this, as much as it is a bit one note, this does feel like a Mario level. No, not a whole Mario game, but where you drop in the water in a Mario game and you have to swim down. This feels a bit like that. So I wonder if there's Mario games have been out by now, haven't they? And they've got underwatery bits in, I imagine. So there's probably someone's seen that and thought, we can make a game of that bit at least. Maybe not the whole thing, but that little bit. So like I said, the graphics are quite nice. The controls are very simple as well. You get down to the bottom and you have to basically jump by pressing fire. He will do kind of a jump and land on the bubbles, and then you'll go up, and the idea is to try and get up all the way to the top. If you happen to be on a bubble too long, when it pops, you'll then go cascading down. And of course, your oxygen is all the while running out, so you've got to sort of a time limit. It doesn't run out super quickly, but it will run out eventually, and you'll run out of bonus as well if you don't get out quick enough, and that's all about the score, isn't it, on this? So there is that, but the controls are very simple: move and jump. You don't get much more simple than that, really. Musically, I thought this was also very good. The sound bubbles along at a decent pace. It remains inoffensive and not annoying. It's actually, but it is, at least it's there, and it means that the game feels like you're trundling along a bit. There's no sound effects, I don't think, though. It was just music. But okay, I'll go with that. I didn't notice if there was a switch to music sound effects. I didn't bother with that, but I actually quite liked just having the music. It was fine. The controls are okay as well. Like I said, there's a hair of a delay on the jump, which means you just need to account for that, because if you press it's not instant jump, it's kind of a slight delay, which in a game like this can be quite annoying until you figure out that you just need to just allow for it. But it's a budget game, so I'll let them get away with it. But it is, a game like this could have done with snappier jump mechanics, because that's the only mechanic in it that you've got to control him, other than left and right, really. So there is that little slight delay in there, but there's quite a bit moving around in terms of bubbles on the screen. You get different size bubbles, some different speed as well. So it actually moves pretty quick when he scrolls up and down. It's not too bad. And you can clamber around a bit as well on the sort of, with the little bits that stick out. There's some little green bits where you can jump like platforms. You can jump on sort of weight, and the idea is to sort of navigate. You're never going to go all the way up on one bubble. It's just not going to work that way. So it's pretty good. The game design is very reminiscent of the old Flash game Winter Bells, if you remember that. I should say Winter Bells is reminiscent. We had a little rabbit and you had to jump up the little bells and sort of try and get as high as you could. Reminded me of that. It also reminded me weirdly of that crap bloody Tarzan Goes Ape game, which was another game where you had to go upwards, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it had a vibe of Tarzan Goes Ape, only this was done well, whereas Tarzan Goes Ape was stupid and crap. So the main thing that's going to happen here, other than you periodically going up on a bubble, is that you're going to come cascading back down again, which depends on how you want to play it. It can get quite annoying, but the repeat of this game is quick. So if you do die and you go and you start again, you die and you go run through out of your 3 lives, you can very quickly be back playing the game again. It's not like it loads or anything like it's all in a single load, so it's fast. So it's one of those games that you can just quickly go at, and it's quite good for that. Again, it's that nice, simple logic. And so that makes it kind of fun to play, even in little short bursts, because you do want to sort of try and get to the top of that bloody thing, and it does drive you a bit mad. And because it's just that one mechanic, it does that quite well. So it's not going to win any design awards, this, but there is a simple idea well implemented, and it's never a bad thing. We've said that through the life of this podcast. don't overcomplicate things if you don't have to. If this is just the game as it needs to be, you don't need to put lots of fancy pants updates, collectibles, silly puzzles. So sometimes it's nice to have a game that's just annoying and trying to test you to try and get to the top of something. It's quite good for that. It's also a budget game, and so for the money, this fun in a little arcade style game like this, which looks good, sounds good, looks the part, cutesy graphics, they're all well done throughout. Tonally, this hits the right note, and the annoying factor is marginal, which is it's the kind of the game's thing. So that's the hook. So it keeps you sort of going back in. But as a load it up and go game out of the box, I thought this was pretty good. Actually, it was quite good fun. We've played a lot worse than this. It might be. Yeah. I suppose one thing you could say, it may be a bit oversimple, but it's budget. But this is way better than Tarzan Goes Ape if you're going to play a variation of this. And I quite enjoyed my time playing it. I find it quite infuriating in its own way, but I kind of endeared to that. That jump thing is the only niggle because it's just a little tad delay, but that's whatever. I quite liked what I played of it. It's the only Dizzy game I've actually really got into, and the graphics apparently are the best on this, are the best graphics of any of the versions of this. So this is obviously the C64's version of this is the best one. So I liked it. It was good. What did you think?
Yeah, it's another one of those, like I said, Tarzan Goes Ape, another odd vertically scrolling platformer with a recognisable character shoehorned in. Why is it a Dizzy game? No, it could be anything.
It didn't have to be, but it may as well be.
Nothing to do with those games. As a budget title, it's okay. The visuals are nice. There's a bit of a raster glitch at the bottom of the screen. It's a bit annoying, but I just found it got a bit samey and fiddly. I think that pause in the thing as it went on. Once again, walking and jumping never seemed 100% reliable. There's a bit of a, it's never. It's just.
It's that a Dizzy thing, I think, as well, isn't it?
I don't know. It's a falling down again. Like maybe most of these types of games, just you're falling down. It soon wears thin. So the first time you see the intro, you're falling down. The captain, that's nice. He's poking you off the plank. The first time I saw it, you need to be able to skip that in future. It goes on too long and gets in the way of playing, which is what you should be doing. So having to see that being poked off the plank every time you do the next level, that gets very, very annoying. Interestingly, there's a comment on Lemon from, I presume it's Dave Hayes. It's under the name SH, saying this wasn't actually a Spectrum port. It was actually a sub-level from an NES Dizzy game fleshed out into a standalone thing. It was coded over many sleepless nights using Turbo Assembler on a bog stock 64 with a 5-minute VHS recording of the NES game as a starting point, and that was it. There's no contact with any of the people coding the other versions, so I think the C64 version differs greatly from the Z80 and PC version in terms of level layout and stuff, and he thinks it came out okay considering, but he would say that. That's his words. But yeah, that's him. So I think, with a bit of detective work, I think this is a subsection of the Fantastic Adventures of Dizzy, which came out in 1991, which has on the back of the box, I'm sort of looking at it, on the back of the box, it came out on the NES, Amiga, Genesis and things like that. Explore the mysterious diamond mines, fabulous caverns, Dragon's Lair, Cloud Castle, find secret treasure maps, encounter strange magicians, wizards, scrolls, pirates, leprechauns, and there's like there's a screenshot on here which is exactly this, where the pirate is poking him off the thingy. So it's called Black Heart Ship. So this is the mini bit from the Fantastic Adventures of Dizzy made into a full game.
Okay. That makes sense. It felt like that. Yeah.
So this is what this is. But it is what it is. It's a budget game. £4. It's whatever it is. I don't know. I didn't hate this. It is way better than that stupid, crappy Tarzan game because you can get out of it. You can get out of the thing, so you can actually manage to get through the levels, which I did a few of them. And again, games like Doodle Jump, as I mentioned before, down the line, Descendants and things like this vertically scrolling stuff. But I don't like Doodle Jump particularly. This was all right. It's not terrible. There are better budget games out there, but for me, at £4, it's not worth 82%. I don't think. I think it's too. There's just not enough to it. You do the same thing over and over and over again. And considering it was just a mini game in the mini level bit in the SNES version, blown out into a full game, I can understand why it just replicates that. But it's not It's not terrible. It's okay. No. But for me, it's 60 odd at most, I think. Yeah. But like I said, nice visuals though. Nice visuals.
Yeah. I thought the graphics were good, and I think just simple, maybe over simple.
Just too simple. It needed a bit more to it.
Yeah, but you know what? Because it's modern budget, in old money, it was £2, wasn't it? This, and for £2, I'd have been all right with that, I think. Yeah,
but for £4, I'm thinking I want a little bit more for my money.
I want twice as much. Twice as much,
yeah. There you go. That's Bubble Dizzy. That sounds nice to say. That rolls off the tongue. Bubble Dizzy.
Bubble Dizzy.
Bubble
Bubble
Dizzy.
Dizzy. Bubble Dizzy. Bubble Dizzy. It does a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's got a nice sort of flow to those syllables and
it does. It rolls off the tongue. It rolls off the loom.
It rolls off the tongue like an egg. Like swallowed an egg. Let's get to our last game of the month. No, not the month. The week. It's not the week. Month. The week.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
The week.
This is for the week. This is Rolling Ronny.
Okay.
Another full price one. This is, another cutesy one. 87% this got.
Good score.
More full price fare here, $10.99. Rolling Ronny. Published over here by Virgin Games, but this comes from Starbite Software. We've seen them before because they did Crime Time.
Yes, I remember them now.
That odd point and click thing, which we didn't quite click with.
Yes.
We just pointed at it. They've also done loads of other stuff that we've never seen, and that's the same. That goes for the coder as well. I'm sorry, I'm going to probably butcher these names. The coder is Mario Nezovic. He did games like Wall Street, Trans World, The Second World, Think Cross, Turn It 2, and Neuronics.
Okay.
You remember them?
I'm afraid I don't.
Never heard of them. Oliver Landau did the visuals and title screen. He also worked on some of those previously listed, and the music is by Marcus Schneider. And again, he did loads we've never seen, never heard.
Oh, he's done some good stuff, Marcus Schneider.
But he did do Dick Tracy.
Okay, but I think he's a maniac. Wasn't he a maniac of noise, I
Quite
believe?
possibly. The box art, though, is by Keith Sparrow.
Hey, the Sparrow
Keith
Man.
Sparrow. The game's a platformer, but just on what is this Rolling Ronny geezer? Who is he? The back of the box has this to say: who says being an errand boy is dull? Take Rolling Ronny. He's the coolest dude in town. Help him roller skate and shoot his way through 9 levels of parkland, city streets, office complexes, and even the underground sewers to his final destination at the other side of town. Collect cash by running errands for the inhabitants of this weird and wonderful town to earn enough money for a bus ticket to the next part of this balmy game. Balmy. You don't see that in a lot of descriptions, do you? So you're an errand boy then, I guess. And that makes sense. I did read the full name of this game is supposedly Rolling Ronny the Errand Boy. There's a further bit of story to this, though, in the manual. I'm not going to read it. It's a letter from Rolling Ronny to you asking you to play the game, which means you don't play as Rolling Ronny. You're actually you because he's wanting to train you to be an errand. So you're pretending to be Rolling Ronny in a sort of weird thing. I'll come on to. There's more to this story as well. Anyway, the letter welcomes you to errand person fold, but then goes on to say, finally. So this is where it all gets very confusing. Play the errand boy simulation included with this guide, which recreates an episode that happened to me just after I left the circus. It came about because a vicious gang of thieves stole the Fieldington crown jewels. Luckily, they were rumbled before they could leave the country. Stupidly, they hid the jewels inside small, gaudily coloured boxes all over Fieldington. It was Scotland Yard's job to retrieve them before the news hit the streets, and they figured an undercover agent would be best suited to the task, and this is where I came in. So, you're playing a simulation of when Ronny helped the police retrieve some stolen jewels after he'd left the circus for some reason. I don't understand what any of this has to do with anything. I think this is all just made up after the game. But anyway, it's just a story in it. The game loads up with some nice pixel art logos, Virgin, Starbite, and the Bones Park, which is odd. I don't know who they are. I guess they're the development team. And then there's a nice loading screen of Ronny on his skateboard, on his rolling skates. There's a very Euro piece of music, very Euro, which is good. All right. And it takes no time to get to the funky bit. So it's all right. I played the cartridge version of this because it's a multi-load, and that made things a hell of a lot easier. It is what it is. But go play the cartridge version if you're going to try this. And then finally we get to the main menu, and here we can start the game. Continue a game from the last level we were at, which is handy. Take note, creatures. Show the high scores, and get a guide on how to play. This is all laid out quite nicely, actually. It's like letters on bottles, and you select them with a bottle on the left. There's some nice presentation here, I have to say. Another game with some good front-end presentation.
Yeah.
Selecting the how to play option gives us a screen with all the power-ups and various things that we might encounter in the game. And again, it's a great thing to see, to let you try and recognize them in game. It's all there. It tells you what this stuff is, what stuff does. They've got a bit odd names. I'll come to them in a bit. But at least that information is there. Once you're done with all this, you can select start game, and this loads in the first level, which is obviously nice and quick on the cartridge. So we're in standard platform land here, with the UI at the bottom taking up 3 or 4 character rows, the rest of the screen being the horizontal, bidirectional scrolling world. The UI shows your energy and health on the left as 2 decreasing rows. Energy allows you to fire salami at your enemies. Not been able to do that before in a game. We've got pearl necklaces and salami at this half. It's all going down. That and holy jumpers. And it goes down as you shoot. Your salami goes down as you shoot.
Of course it does.
Then there are 4 boxes with the letters P, S, C, and T next to them. P is for your pence. So this is money you can spend at the shop. You also need to collect a lot of these because you need 100 pence, or a pound, I guess, to pay for the bus at the end of the level. S is your score, I think. T is for the time remaining to complete the level. It's counting down. And C is for the amount of jewellery boxes left to collect in the level. And you need to find all of these to proceed. Okay. On the right of the UI are 4 boxes marked with F1, F3, F5, and F7. And these are your pockets. And the objects in these can be used at any time when you collect them by simply pressing the relevant F key, which is quite nice. You can be carrying up to 4 objects at a time. Controls are simple, platformer, left and right to skate, because you're on roller skates, skate in that direction, up to jump and climb ladders, down to crouch, and fire to shoot your salami, matron. I didn't write. That's what it is in the game. I'm just telling you as it is. So, in order to progress, you need to jump and make your way to the end of the level, collecting objects and making sure you collect them all and have enough money to proceed on the bus. There's the usual array of enemies that are in your way and need to be avoided, as if you lose all your health, then it's obviously game over. That's how you die in this. Although the continue game option lets you restart at the last level you're on. That's a nice touch. I appreciate that. That's good.
Yeah.
But there is more to the levels, though. You'll find lost parcels along the way. Sorry, lost parcels. I'll say that better. You will find lost parcels along the way. And then you get asked to deliver those to addresses, and then you get real cash money. Did you do that? You want to do that because you need the money. You'll also run into people, and they will ask you to deliver something for money as well. These can even be bargained with to try and make more cash. It's quite nice. And then there are the power-ups and collectibles, which you can collect. And you need to use some of these. So you've got jewellery boxes. These are the collectibles. So you've got jewellery boxes. So it's all too easy to get preoccupied with dodging enemies. You need to collect. These are little sort of shining boxes, and some appear in very awkward places, but you've got to collect them all. There's money. These are little the C coins. The more cash, the better. There's a health bonus. This adds a few new units of health to your supply. Obviously, if you've lost some, there's a time bonus. This gives you 3 minutes of extra time, which is kind of handy. And there's an energy bonus. This refills your energy level to maximum, meaning you can then shoot your salami a bit more.
I'm such a child, honestly. I really am.
And there's a question mark, a surprise. Could be anything from a stenchalizer to extra points. Pick it up and see. So alongside that lot, you've got loads of gadgets. And these are the things that go in your pockets. You can have 4 of these at one time. You've got the super jump. Some leaps are just too large for unaided skaters to attempt, whether you're trying to grab that elusive package or just avoiding that yawning chasm in the road. So you get 3, massive jumps if you use the super jump, which is kind of handy because some of the collectibles are beyond your normal jump. So you need to sort of jump up to a platform with one of these. There's the power sneeze. This is the kind of sneeze that gives colds a bad name. Not an apologetic nasal exhalation, but a thunderous explosive shockwave that annihilates everything on the screen. So like a smart bomb. Okay. There's the stenchalizer. This is, what's this again? What's this do? This produces a small reminiscent of garlic, old socks, onions, raw sewage, and ammonia. It has the power to stop anything that tracks for about 10 seconds. So it freezes everything on screen. There's the magneto-fluct. This basically, if you use that, it draws all the collection boxes you got collect on screen to you. So it's like a grab everything on screen kind of thing. And there's the mega honk. If you could, it says, at last you can laugh in the face of gorillas and tweak the grommets of marauding bands until the effect wears off. That is. So I think it's it's like a shield. Okay. So standard sort of thing is like a smart bomb, massive jump, sort of shield, those kind of things, but kind of funny and they kind of fit in the whole kind of theme of this game. And there's also a shop partway through the level. You can enter that. You can buy things like health, extra time, and you can buy those objects above. But be careful, because if you spend too much money in the shop, it will leave you with too little bus fare, and you won't be able to progress past the end of the level. And there are 9 levels to get through. And these are called the start, basic enough. There's the sewers. Shakespeare Park, the municipal offices, Stern Street, Spencer Street, Fieldington Docks, Seek Park, and finally Scotland Yard. The opening levels are nice quite easy, but the difficulty ramps up after that, with later levels providing quite the challenge. But remember, you can just redo them should you fail. And so that's it. It's a 9-level platformer. You got to collect things. You have to use your objects in the right place at the right time to be able to collect some of them. And you've got to collect money as well to get to the next level. That's what this is. And if you're thinking this sounds familiar, it is, because it's the Simpsons game we looked at last week.
I thought that.
It's exactly, but way better.
Yep.
Miles better. It shares the same structure, really. Collect all the necessary objects in the level to progress. Use the objects at your disposal to solve how to get some of them. It's essentially the same game, but it's like I said, it's much better to play, and there's way more of it. 9 levels compared to 5. They're big, quite chunky levels, and they're better designed. The similarity to the Simpsons game is too much for it to be a coincidence for me, but that's no bad thing. Okay, we've not had loads of these kind of things. It's just weird that we've got 2 in 2 weeks. The presentation of this is very good. Visuals are nicely drawn throughout. Nice sprites, backdrops, scrolling in either direction's always smooth. It's got that look we've kind of seen in some of the better European sort of software we've kind of seen. It's got a really nice technical base to this. It would have been nice to maybe have a bit of depth and some parallax scrolling into the background, a bit more life. Something like Hawkeye or Flimbo's Quest, I think.
There is some later.
Oh, is there? I must have missed that then.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to have that on the first level as well, where you got the.
Later on, you get some nice parallax scrolling in this.
Okay, cool. The controls, though, they're another element that make it better than the Simpsons game. There's no annoying inertia here, which is weird considering you're on roller skates. You just don't get it. The control of Ronny is tight and immediate. There's a good jump, and it feels nice and easy to control. Using the F keys is a nice touch. There's never a real issue in activating the powers when I was playing this. They're kind of they're just there. You can tap them, and it's quite simple because you can use them. You've got a bit of space to use them and kind of think about it. Obviously, you've got the timer counting down, but there's plenty of time to actually do these things, and especially if you get the extra time bonuses. The platforms I thought were easy to read. It's clear what to jump on, so I found it. I wasn't guessing what. Like at times in the Simpsons game, it's like, I can jump on the top of the door. It looks exactly the same as everything else. Can I jump on that? No, I can't. This is like I found it pretty clear what I could jump on. So whilst the premise of this makes little sense when you take a step back and look at it, Ronny left the circus for some reason, dresses as a clown, helps the police deliver stuff, but it's all a simulation of all that anyway. Weird. The actual game here is an actual really fun platformer. Tight controls, excellent presentation, and that ability to be able to continue a level should you fail. Great bit of player affordance. And you get past that first level. It got 87% this. I think that does this a bit of disservice, if I'm honest. I think the amount of levels, the complexity of some of them, the amount of stuff here I think this was a sizzler. I think this is a really good example, a solid example of the genre. And, I think that, and it's all really well done, and it works, and it's nice, it's technically accomplished. It's a very good example of it. So to me, this is the definition of a sizzler, 91, 92, because it's one of the better platformers I played on the machine. I enjoyed this. It is a challenge, but it's smooth and easy to play and enjoyable. And those little extra bits like talking to people and being able to deliver things, those little extra added addition, you don't normally see them in these kind of things. A good game, this. Really good game. Nice reminder there's still some decent stuff in amongst the morass of budget games and the rubbish we're having to look at for a lot of the time. I thought this was really quite good and should have got Sizzler. It can get a bit tricky later on, and there's some bits where you've got to have the right object to get the you've got to figure it out, but that ability to just redo the level, that's a win for me, and sort of negates that trying to work it out a little bit. I thought this was really good. Rolling Ronny, I didn't know what to expect, but I thoroughly enjoyed my time with this. What about you?
Yeah, same. I actually thought this was quite impressive. It's very nice looking, this really nice graphics, really nice sprite design, background design. It looks the part, and you were exactly right, and I made the same note. This is this game that they wanted to make for The Simpsons. The music's really good, I thought, all the way through. Very Euro sounding of that type, but works perfectly well for the game. I think I enjoyed playing it. I think there's a couple of things that I think maybe just held it off. Like I said, I would agree with you. I think a Sizzler I think it was probably well deserved that, just based on how it looks and how it played, really. It was very seamless. It's occasionally a little bereft. So sometimes there's just large expanses of what feels like nothing happening in the game. Which I think is because it's sort of your expectations of what it looks like. Remember that this game doesn't play like what it looks like. So it kind of looks like it's going to be like a Genesis does or a Mario, but it's not. It's actually got a few other elements to it. And I think that sort of comes back to bite it a little bit, because I think it looks like something it isn't. Not necessarily that it plays badly. It's just I think you're expecting there to be more enemies and things on the screen, and it's not that kind of game. It's not a Mario game, but it sort of has a vibe of that, I think. It leans into that. sort of value. But that's a minor gripe, because the gate levels are really long. There's some nice things to collect. There's some really nice little details in there. I think maybe you could get a little bit lost in what you're really aiming to do. You've got to collect the coins as well, remember, or you can't get your ticket as well, so you've got to make sure you do that.
Yeah, I was going to note that you don't get told how much money you need as well to get past the end of the level, which is a bit of an oversight, but once you know, you know.
It is, and that's my point really, is that you do get a little bit lost in that, because I've just put some clearer goals and indications for the player as you progress would have just really helped this game a lot and moved it on a little bit. And it was just, it is just those tiny little details, and they're not major, they're not deal breaking or anything like that. There's certainly not bugs or anything. I think it's just for a game that gives the player the affordance that it does, those couple of things would have just sealed the deal. So that as I progressed, I knew how many coins I had, because it's a great game. I mean, the fact that you can hold multiple objects in this makes it quite unique in the genre anyway.
And use them when you want, where you want,
and use them when
order.
you want. And and also your payments are weird, weren't they? I got 31 pence for delivering something. I'm like, well, this is a weird thing to get.
Yeah.
But all in all, the game I played, it blew my expectations. I wasn't sure what to expect. And my initial thought was it's just going to be a Mario clone, a Giannis clone. And it did look like quite a good one, albeit that I wasn't sure. There's a lot more to it than that, actually, with this. And I think that's to its benefit. So I quite liked Rolling Ronny. I think it's a game that's a bit mysterious. And I think that's probably because it's not been explained very well. And I don't mean that it's not, how can I describe it? It's a game that's a bit more of an enigma than it appears. And the layers that there are in the game, which would be perfectly good in any game, they could have just been brought to the forefront of the actual experience.
Yeah, it's a simple enough game. Collect the things, get enough money, progress. But I think it's obfuscated by this stupid story and front end and a bit of weirdness. Yeah, that's exactly that. I think it's just they hid things they didn't need to hide. It's a perfectly good game in its own little logic. I would recommend that you go and play it. There's an easy flash version of this as well. Go and play it because it's a genuinely really good game. Another good one on the C64 as well. So we've had a good batch there compared to what, January's just, been stomped on by February already with, quite a substantial amount of games. Neighbours aside, there's 3 really good games in there. Maybe Dizzy's not as great, but Rolling Ronny, I quite like what I played of that. And it would be a game I'd go back to because I thought there's more layers to this. It's a good onion game, isn't it? Which was the fashion at the time. I'm There's certainly no holes in its jumper, I'd say that.
No, there isn't. And I quite liked I liked the tonality. Your sprite was a bit odd. And okay, maybe in some of the backgrounds you do get a bit lost here and there, but whatever. It's still really good. And the background graphics, by the way, further you get into the game, they get better and better and better. Some of the later levels are really good graphics in them. Yeah. So it sets a good standard for this. And it's been a good graphic episode, hasn't it? I enjoyed Rolling Ronny. I would suggest you go and seek it out. Yeah, there you go. Good old Rolling Ronny. Should have been. I think definitely should have been a sizzler in terms of where it is in the platforming kind of what we've had. I think it's. Well, did Tarzan got some ridiculous score? Didn't it? 70 odd, yeah, like ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. So come on. There we go. That's it for this week. And do you know what? It's not been a bad week. Bad week. God, we've not been able to say that very often. We haven't. Aside from Neighbours, which was, that's we've got a game about an egg, but Neighbours is the real egg this week. Yeah, that was the dog egg, but an eggy game was all right for an egg game. Yeah. And an underwater egg game, so at least it had that. Yeah, Creatures 2 is clearly the best of the lot, but Rolling Ronny runs at a decent second place. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're 2 great games. Yeah, and go play them both. I'd recommend either of them because they're still good fun to play. And somebody, and if you're feeling, by the way, just as an aside, if you are feeling like, if you do go and play any of those 2, but particularly if you go play Creatures 2 and you enjoy the experience, then maybe just, if they've got a Ko-fi or there's anything like that for the Rolands, just chuck them a bloody £1 or something. They never got any money for that game. And I think that's wrong. So, don't just play it. If there is an opportunity to maybe buy a game from them, or there's some way that they can be recompensed. I know it's late in the day and everything, but a lot of love went into that game, and it is one of the great games on the C64. I think it's I think they deserve a pat on the back. I think that's the weird thing is about that. I mean, the cover. Just to go back, so
Thalamus have gone bust, but that cover, it's 2 Thalamus games, isn't it? Creatures and Winter Camp. And did the same happen to the guy who did Winter Camp then as well?
Yeah, I imagine so.
And you would think, though, that the link with Thalamus and Zap, as it was Newsfield, there would be something. It must have been, these are great games, but...
Makes you wonder how well it was distributed as well. I mean, I don't know that you don't know how many were manufactured and how many got out there, do you? I mean, I don't know that, but...
That's very strange. You would think somebody had swooped in, actually, and got them.
Yeah. I don't know, did it come out on budget as well later? I suppose it might have done.
Creatures too? I don't know. Let me just have a quick look.
But they went on to do Monsters in Mayhem Land, didn't they? Or Mayhem in Monsterland, whatever it is.
Yeah, they released that. But no, there's no... on Lemon doesn't list any budget release.
No.
I imagine the copyright was just tied up with Thalamus.
Well, if you listen to this podcast, either of the Rowlands, probably Steve Rowland, I would imagine. If either of you are listening to this podcast, then we appreciate you massively for what you've done. That is a great game, and maybe you could drop us a note or on one of the social medias or emails or whatever, and let us know any background story about that. If there is, did you ever get your money for that game? I'd be very interested to know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they published publisher for Mayhem in Monsterland is just them, Apex Computer Production, so they self-published.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah. But I can't believe not another company didn't pick them up.
Well, maybe they were probably thinking we're not going to work for anybody else again after that.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. It's a weird one, isn't it? Weird one and a depressing one. But good games, though. Good games at the end of the day that we got to play 30 odd years later. So that's it. That's it for this week. We've got the middle of February to do next one. We've got a weird one. So next week we've got First Samurai.
Okay.
Another weird one because that fell foul or something and didn't actually get released till 93.
Wow.
But it was reviewed in this issue.
Okay.
We've got another Tilt.
Yeah, not the good one, I think.
No, I don't think so. We've got Johnny Quest.
Okay.
It's based on a cartoon, a sort of 70s cartoon, I think. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And the Blues Brothers to look at next week.
Okay, that was good on the Amiga, the Blues Brothers. And
it's got Sizzler.
And I also remember First Samurai from the Amiga. So I'm remembering these games for the Amiga version, so it'd be great to play the C64 ones, having never played either. Well,
First Samurai, good review, 95%, and Blues Brothers 91%, so maybe they'll be all right.
Could be another good graphic.
Yeah, could be. I mean, even week after looks quite good as well. Some good, interesting stuff there. Well, one at least. But yeah, so that's next week. So we'll be back next week where we will carry on with February. If you want to support us, you can do that. We have our Patreon. You heard people sort of supporting us at the beginning with our Ko-fi, ko-fi/Zap to the Past. Always greatly appreciated. We've got a Patreon, patreon.com/Zap to the Past. Come and sign up, join us, and get the episodes early, ad-free, chat with us, join in, high scores, things like that, and just generally have a good time. And sort of, we've got the Christmas special obviously coming up fairly soon. We'll be asking for contributions to that, no doubt. When we do Ask the Podcast, end of year stuff, anything we sort of think. And don't forget as well, we're very fast approaching. There's not that many episodes till the end, so we've got our bread bins and then the bread bin of bread bins, which we'll get contributions for as well. So all those things will be coming up over the next few months. I think that's about it. Graham, you got anything you want to add?
No. I am just going to go off and make sure the looms are appropriately creating the jumpers for all those folk in
clearly
Zion.
Not the one then, because if you were the one, sort of
not
thing,
me. I've never been the
loom.
one. No, not me. No, not me. No, I came out the Matrix very early on, but I very quickly realised I was never going to be the one. But I was very good at looming. Yeah,
you were. Well, that's over people though. That's you.
Yeah, well, no, that not that kind of looming. I was good at the old bobbin. I was good with the bobbin. Turns out.
bobbin and looming. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably not looming. I might do.
Well, you could make the leatherware because that's the alternative, isn't it? They have a bit of leatherware.
Did they have any leather? I thought it was what do they have?
They must have.
Pants?
They can't have loom shoes, can't they? They can't have like cotton wear shoes.
These are wearing out too much.
No wonder they're so miserable. They're quiet though. The floors are always clean in Zion.
You can't hear them coming up behind you.
You can't. You cannot hear them.
No, you were there.
Ah, God, you made me jump. I'm sorry about that. And the static electricity is off the chat as well, isn't it? So
yeah, probably. Well, it is actually. Yeah, that's how they stop the clicker, the thingies, the squiddies.
Yeah, the squiddies.
They all just get together. They all just get together.
The sentinels, I think, is the third term.
Well, they call them squiddies, don't they? They do call them squiddies in it as well.
They never call them a squiddy. They call them a squiddy.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Well, you know what? They should if they don't.
but they all get together in the middle of the ship and just rub against each other to create the static charge.
Yeah, the EMP or whatever it is. Yeah. Right, everyone, rub your jumpers now.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, EMP is easily magnetic pullovers.
Which, we specialise in the old Lomeries.
Yeah, we do. Anyway, on that note, I think we should go. Leave the people alone and stop infecting their ears with loom-based punnery. Yeah. As ever, I've been Adrian Mills.
And I have been Graham, fruit of the loom raddings.
And you've been listening to Instructions on How to Loom, if you're the one. And we will see you again next week. Loom.
Thank you for listening to the Zapped to the Past podcast. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of Commodore 64 games, as well as the music, films and TV from around the 1980s, driven, of course, by the issue of Zap 64 magazine published at that time. We will return with a whole new batch of games and stuff to talk about next week. Until then, if you want to listen to or download previous episodes of Zapped to the Past, and why wouldn't you, they can all be found on our website at zappedtothepast.com, as well as being available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Audible, Player FM, and, well, pretty much anywhere where we can upload them. By the way, we do always love to hear from our amazing listeners, so if you'd like to contact us about anything in the podcast or beyond, you can do so by emailing us at zappedtothepast@gmail.com. We're also active on Twitter under @ZapTother, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and most social media platforms. Just search for Zapped to the Past and you'll find us. Oh, and if you like the podcast and what we're doing, please do like, share, review, rate us. It really helps. Something, apparently. The Zapped to the Past podcast is written and produced by Adrian Mills and Graham Raddings and recorded at Flaky Bits 2.0 Studio. All opinions expressed are those of the writers, and while we indeed love Zap 64 magazine, the Zapped to the Past podcast is not affiliated with it in any way. Stay safe, see you next time, and remember, we play these games so you don't have to.